Okay, hey everybody. So we are live. So welcome to the show. As usual, I am Game Master Roger. This is my neighborhood. Today, we got with us to my right is Ducato, Troll Den Painting, as usual. To the right of him, Troy Alleman. Is that how you say that?
Yep.
Alleman? With Cannibal Publishing. He's got some cool stuff that's coming out. He's going to show us. And below him is Jason, who's usually with us. You guys know who he is. At least you should by now. And then to the left of him is Mike Saxton from Thunderstruck Workshop, the guy that got me into like really into 3D printing, like hardcore. So thanks for that, Mike. Appreciate it.
Oh, you're welcome.
I need a couple more rooms now because of you. But so yeah, no, that's cool stuff. So today we're going to be talking about ShadowDark. I know Mike is switching over or starting a new campaign in ShadowDark. My group is switching over at least temporarily, and we'll see how it goes after 5 or 6 sessions. Ducato, I believe you started a campaign, right, with ShadowDark?
My Thursday night group, we're playing it.
Yep. And Troy, obviously, I don't know if you run ShadowDark, as far as like a campaign, but I know you're making a lot of stuff for it.
Yeah, I'm making a lot of stuff. I don't have a regular game or anything. I do go to local game stores though to play test or run stuff to test stuff out.
Nice. Yeah, so you're running it regularly, with all your stuff. So that's really cool. So first, like we usually do, we'll just go around. What's everybody been up to in gaming, and what's new? Like, what did you guys buy anything? New Kickstarters or what? I will just go around again. Ducato, what do you got? Anything?
So I ran ShadowDark this week or last week, and Thursday night for my Thursday night group. That's our second session of it. And then I ran my Cast of Crusades campaign on Saturday. And we're supposed to play a game of Heart on Sunday, but Snowmageddon canceled that.
Nice. No new purchases?
The only thing I got was because of ShadowDark and they have the luck tokens and luck rules, I picked up some stuff to use for that. So I got these these handy coins. Camera.
Oh, cool.
So these are pretty stout metal coins, and then I got this little sexy thing to put it in.
Oh, nice.
That's it, though. That's it.
I've got some of the luck tokens from some of the DCC Lankmar stuff that I got that have the luck tokens. They're like the casino chips.
Oh yeah, my game master, when I played Lankmar, he made them, like, I guess there's like cutouts or whatever you can get that are in the Lankmar stuff, the fleeting luck, and he made those like on printed them and put them on like foam board or something. We never held on to them very long because we were always losing our fleeting luck. So
yeah, Pablo, this is a requirement. You got to at least have a halfway decent fake beard. Ken has one.
The grayer the better.
The grayer. I've got mine's behind the mic, but I've got a little column of gray.
You're getting there.
Mine's pretty weak compared to everybody else, but
if I sit like this,
Australia chiming in, by the way, Pablo.
Oh yeah, he said Aussie. Yeah. So what time is it in Australia right now? It's got to be pretty late, right?
Tomorrow,
I think it's early.
Early, I guess.
Yeah, should be like 10 o'clock in the morning.
Yeah.
Oh, that's not bad.
Yeah.
Okay, that's not terrible.
So we had UK last week, and we've got Australia. That we are international for sure now.
They didn't show up on at 10 a.m. He says so. They didn't show up on the stream because they were early enough. But earlier this morning, 11 o'clock, that guy from the UK was posting.
Andy,
nice, Andy, yeah.
Cool. He made some posts. I think he mentioned you, Jason, a couple times.
Yeah, he does.
Me?
About you're a cool guy, I guess. About going to he mentioned going to Wales and doing
Oh,
doing
yeah,
the
yeah.
tours and stuff. So he's looking forward to hearing about
I'm
that.
super psyched, man. When I get back, I'll have lots of stories.
The at Giant Stomp is Will in chat. So if you fire off a question quick, he might be able to answer it before he takes
Giant
off.
Stomp.
Yeah.
Okay.
Giant Stop. This guy here. Oh, he jumped in to say hi. You got time for a couple questions quick? Oh, there's Andy. Andy's here. Yeah.
Yeah, it's like 11 o'clock, I think.
Yeah.
If you're still there, there's some questions that Jason had about the Matrix and how that works in Shadowpunk, which for those of you at home, pull this out. Yeah. That's this here, which is published by Cannibaal Publishing, Troy, and it's written by William Dvorak, and he's in the chat. So,
and I don't want to derail anything. I can
no,
ask
that's
him
fine.
later. It's not a big deal.
But if you got time, to tell us about the Matrix, and then we go from there, that'd be great. Troy, what do you got? You getting you running some games in the past week, or new purchases, or?
I ran 5 games at the con page, and then purchases. You see all this. That's Free League's new Aliens release.
Yep.
I would love to make content for that, but IP.
That's a lot harder. Yeah.
Yeah.
They don't really have an open license and all of that. Yeah.
And then we were talking earlier, like ShadowDark. I backed the Western Reaches completely, and then some.
Yeah.
300 plus or whatever. I forget what it was now.
It's going to be money well spent, though, man.
I keep
complaining.
I keep going back in and adding things to it.
Yep.
I went all the way. I just got it out of the way early. I'll take everything.
Yeah.
Here's my money.
Yeah.
At this point, I pretty much have it all now.
Yep.
And,
I think I have got everything. Yeah.
Jeff Stevens' Arctic adventure on Kickstarter. I just backed that. That was the most recent thing that I backed.
What's this Arctic adventure? Tell me more.
I have to.
Is it 5e? Is it ShadowDark? Is it its own thing?
ShadowDark.
Oh, okay.
Cool.
The Savage Arctic for ShadowDark RPG by Jeff Stevens, Kickstarter and backer kit.
Okay.
Can you put the link in the private chat, and then I'll post it?
Yep.
To the
I'm
chat.
copying it right now.
Appreciate it.
Is
We're all going
it
to buy it
Vikings
right now.
or is it Arctic like Inuit type thing? Or
There we go.
Right there. I just put the link in there.
We're going to post this in the chat so that everybody else can look. And then I'm going to open it up, and I'm going to go take a look. Let's see. Ooh, the Savage Arctic campaign setting. Oh, this looks cool. Do you know, Jeff? Or is it just something that you're into, or?
No, I don't know Jeff, but my artist, Joey Dosel, did work for him and brought it to my attention. And I like the Arctic is almost as much as I do underwater. So I was like, yeah, done deal. Support.
Oh, and this isn't bad. Even the all formats thing with the print code is $25.
Yeah.
And that's with the VTT stuff and everything. Just for the PDF and print code is $18.
Yeah, Jeff Stevens has done a lot of stuff. He's got, if you look on DM's Guild and Drive Through RPG, he's got a lot of 5e stuff, and he's been publishing for at least several years now.
Yeah. Wow. Yeah. He's got a lot of stuff in the add-ons. He's got a bunch of things.
Yeah.
So that's really cool. So I'm definitely going to have to, I'm just going to back it, the basic one now. And then we'll have to go back later and do some add-ons.
I'll probably do the PDF and the print. I have to stay away from the VTT stuff. I buy them all the time. Then I'm like, oh, good. I've never
Yeah.
used this.
Yeah.
Yeah, we
What?
did VTT stuff.
What? Yeah. So Troy, it sounds like you made out pretty good at Page. I have a problem going through the vendor hall where, I stop and I see something shiny and then I can't get my cash out fast enough. So
Luckily for me, I was chained to my area,
yeah,
running games and then taking care of my store that I had there set up too. So I didn't get the freedom to roam like I had in the past. So that was probably for a good thing.
yeah.
Yeah, that's the problem with having my wife with me. I was able to get away and spend hundreds of dollars when I was supposed to be making money.
That's how that works, right? But yeah, that's my problem walking around, especially a larger convention like like Page, where there's a ton of vendors and stuff to buy, and there's just so much stuff, and a lot of these indie creators and I want to support them all, because I just love what they're doing, and all of that. I'm gonna put the link to your site there in the chat, Cannibaal Publishing. I don't know if you've got any other links for anything that you want to plug or push. If you do, you could put them in the private chat,
Okay.
and I'll post them, to the public. But check this guy out. Follow him. We're going to talk about his stuff in a little while, but I think he's got some really amazing stuff coming. Jason, what do you got? What have you picked up in the last week?
I did not go to Page, so
Yeah.
I didn't actually spend any kind of money. Ken got me a Viking chess set, which is back on the shelf behind
right.
me. If I had thought about it, I would have brought it so I could show you.
That was
I've not
cool,
played
yeah.
it yet. I've set it up, looked at it, looks great, read the rules. Complicated because it's chess, no matter who did it. But I'm really looking forward to playing it. I think it'll be neat. And my wife used to play chess with her dad when she was a kid.
Cool.
So I'm hoping that I can get her involved in this. I think that would be a fun time. The only other Kickstarter thing I had was that I received my shipping notice from Emperor's Choice.
Yeah.
So Arduin is shipping out here very, very soon. Super excited about that. I cannot wait to get that box in my hands.
That's going to be amazing. Yeah. I had an amazing conversation with him yesterday, the day before, sometime this weekend. I had a long phone call because George.
There are no short phone calls.
George George likes to talk. I don't know who likes to talk more, him or I.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's a toss up, and you get the both of us on the phone, and we just forget it. Yeah. Neither one of us can get a word in. That's how.
That's great,
that's
though.
How that goes. So,
really
it's great.
About it.
Those guys are absolutely fantastic. Yeah, I don't think. There's Joe Block's Kickstarter. That was a couple weeks ago. I backed that.
Did that? Yep.
That still has a couple weeks left on it. So that's some cool stuff there. Yeah. What?
And this also, Roger picked this up for me. We were just briefly talking about Shadowpunk. It's a ShadowDark version of Shadowrun, made by William. He was in the chat. I think he may have already left. I have lots of questions about this. Like I was telling Troy before we started, my plan was to sit here for an hour before the show and read it, but I got a work call that took an hour, so that completely destroyed my opportunity to read this. So I'm going to take it to bed tonight and read it, and it will still be clean tomorrow morning.
We'll have to see if we can get William on at some point. We'll talk about it.
Yes, the last time I talked about bringing a book to bed, everybody went, "Ew." Okay. Yeah. Well, I'm excited to see this, but not that excited.
It's not what you said. It's how you say it.
I really love my RPGs, perhaps too much. If that's a crime, then fine.
Oh boy. Well, Mike, how about you? You
so obviously I was at Page.
Yep.
Had a great time there. Made a little bit of money.
Cool.
Spent a little bit of money. So same, I picked up Shadowpunk.
There you go. Nice.
I had no ShadowDark prior to Page, and now I went and picked up the book, picked up all the cursed scrolls.
Yeah.
One of us.
Yeah.
One of
Picked up
us.
the map packs, picked up the cards, the pre-gens.
Was Kelsey there this year?
Kelsey
Yeah,
was.
she was.
I actually
Did she
got
sign your
the-
book?
She did. The nice part about being in the vendor hall was she wasn't far from me, and they were always pretty busy over there, and she she'll talk to anybody.
Yep.
Yeah.
Somebody had said to me, maybe it was Troy, I don't remember. Somebody said, Kelsey's over at the booth right now if you want to go over there. And it was kind of dead in the hall, and there was the only person at the booth at the time was Mike Shea, Sly Flourish. So I walked over and I got talking with him and talking with Mike. Troy knows his name.
Michael Putlak.
Michael.
Oh,
Putlak.
yeah.
So I talked with the two of them, and Kelsey was talking with somebody at the time. So once they finished, I got to talk with her, and she signed my book, and she's super nice.
Mm-hmm.
We got talking about old school gaming, and I've been running games since '88, and first edition and second edition were my bread and butter. I've pretty much run them up until my last game was second edition. I had some breaks where we did fifth edition, some other games, but never anything like this. And I'm kind of at the point where I just want something simpler, faster to run. I love second edition, but there's so much to it that you get a group of players and everybody wants to start arguing little bits of rules and, I don't like that, and maybe we should house rule this. And it's easy to end up with a million house rules. And
Yep.
I'm just really looking forward to this and being like, here's the book. Let's go. That's it. On top of that stuff, I'm not going to say much about it here because that's Troy's job. We'll let him talk about his stuff. But I picked up all of his stuff also from his booth.
Cool. Nice.
Can't wait to get into some of this stuff. Michael Putlak even gave me this one here that he wrote. It was a freebie. He was like, try this.
Cool.
So yeah, that was all the ShadowDark stuff I got. I come, right before I left, my Kickstarters for Dolmenwood limited edition, my Deadlands stuff all came in. It's all sitting there on the shelf still in shrink wrap. I'm like, well, maybe I'll get to it at some point.
Yeah.
I got, just too many games. I mean, I've got 2E, I've got a million systems here. I got 5E over there. I got Star Wars, Castles and Crusades, and I can't ever do it half-assed. I got to I got a whole shelf of Castles and Crusades. I got
Yep. Hey, 11th printing of the Player's Handbook's coming out.
I know.
No.
Did you? I just got the email today for their collector set.
Yeah.
The Player's Handbook with a bunch of junk for $100. I'm sorry. I mean, I love those guys, but
I do too. They're fantastic, and I think the game is pretty good. But the supplements and some of the iterations and stuff, it just gets too much. And I talked to Steven a little bit about that, and he kind of understands where I'm coming from. I mean, I get it. They're a company, right? They got to make money,
right?
So, but yeah. So, what about gaming wise? Are you any games in this week?
Me? I haven't had a game since like early summer.
Yeah, I keep telling you to come out.
So what happened was we had, I had a really big group, guys that have been with me for 30 years. And what ended up happening was over time, we kept, our group for second edition would get up to like 8 players. And we ended up with 2 very separate personalities at the table. One side was one group and one side was the other, and they couldn't get along, and it's some of the older guys that have been with me forever. We're still all great friends, but they got really like, this is the way it should be played. And we don't want to play anything else. We're not going to try any other games. And, if you don't play the cleric the way I think it should be, you're playing it wrong. So somebody had to go, out of the 2 groups, we kind of had to do a split, and it was a tough choice, but they made it easy for me. When I said we're going to try some other games, they were like, nope, I don't want to do that. I'm out. So now I have a little group of 4 guys. A couple of them are fairly new. I mean, they've all played over the years, but not a lot.
Yeah.
One of them's my next door neighbor. He's a doctor, great guy.
Nice.
Some guys that I worked with over the years. And so we've got a smaller group, and they're all willing to try stuff. So I'm looking forward to this.
Yeah.
You know one of them, Pete.
Yeah.
Pete from the volunteer at Page. He's in my group, and so we had tried Star Wars, and unfortunately, I won't get.
I just want to interject the new Star Wars.
The Fantasy Flight game Star Wars. The reason why we did that was because I'll show you here. This I moved them. This was gifted to me. If I can get this off of there. See that shelf there?
Yep.
That whole shelf was pretty much gifted to me, with the exception of the starter sets.
It's a fine paperweight you've got over there.
Yeah, well, so I know we've talked about your feelings on it. I don't think it's a bad game. It's different. You got to really embrace the dice, which these guys didn't. One of them specifically, they didn't like it, so we decided not to continue for the time. And I just, at that point, I wanted a break. I was getting ready to start making stuff for Page, so I was like, you know what? So we haven't played since the summertime. So this will be, getting back to the table here in a week or two.
We got a question for you in the chat, Mike.
Yep. That Mimic is one of the laser cut. Those first year of Page, I made a whole bunch of those, different colors and everything. I haven't made them since then. I probably should. The little Mimics don't seem to sell anymore. I think, these little wooden Mimic chests it's like any other fad. Everybody's got them for a while. But those big ones, nobody ever had them, and those things always sold well, so I should probably make more of them. But, yeah, that is the big brother of the little guy. Yep.
Nice.
Those little ones, I still have a half a box full of little ones that I made the very first year, because I made 75 of them.
Oh, wow.
Because I was crazy.
Just batched them out. Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Oh, these will sell. Yeah, I came home with, 50 of them.
Yeah, it's interesting. You see some of those and people got them, and then all of a sudden they're like, they're the big hype thing, and everybody wants them. And then 2 months later,
right.
It's like, oh, those again. Yeah,
right.
Everybody's got one of those. We don't care.
But at least they don't go bad. Every year you put a few on the table, might sell a few.
Yeah.
They take up space, which is kind of a pain.
Oh, look, you're going to get an order for one, Mike.
Yeah. Well, so they have
better bring one to CNY.
So yeah, I think I even have them on my store that is listed. But they sell a water-based stain called Unicorn. I think it's called Unicorn Piss. Or something.
Yeah.
Something like that.
Or unicorn poop or something.
Yeah, and it's like really vibrant colors. And if you make those things up with like the vibrant reds and the blues, they look really cool. You still use the dark stain for the offset. They look very cool. So I have a whole batch of that stuff, and I've never used it. So maybe I'll make up some big ones in different colors and bring them to Central New York.
Yeah, it's unicorn spit.
Or unicorn spit. That's probably a little better.
No, unicorn piss is probably
it's a little better, yeah.
By the way, I wanted to say hi to Joey. I saw he said hi to me in chat. I decided, instead of having my dog bother us, and my main computer in that room is my laser. There's boxes of stuff everywhere. It's just a mess. So I decided to come back to the game room, and I'm using my daughter's old laptop, and I can't even log into any of my accounts. So I was going to get on YouTube and just mute it so I could chat, and I don't even have my passwords and stuff. So
oh boy.
So I just have to deal with this.
I put the link to the unicorn spit, people.
Yeah.
I guess I should say that we are not sponsored.
No,
not against it. If anybody from Unicorn Spit's watching,
yeah,
we love your product.
Dakota was talking about the luck tokens, and I've been looking at different ways I can make some pretty cool luck tokens on the laser.
Yeah, you had some of those tokens. I don't know what they.
I did Star Wars ones. Let me see if they're right here.
Yeah, that's some cool stuff.
One of the times I was playing Weird Frontiers, the DM had poker chips that he had made up, Boone on one side and Hex on the other. Yeah, and for something like Weird Frontiers, a poker chip is absolutely the way to go.
Yeah, right.
And so he was handing them out, and I was like, "Man, where'd you get these?" I was like, "Oh, I make them." And he pulls up a stack of them. I was like, "Sold."
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Yeah, I don't know where they went. I made the Star Wars ones out of black acrylic and painted them, and they were okay. I've got wooden ones. I've made Castles and Crusades ones. I made inspiration tokens out of them, all kinds of different things. So
cool.
Trying to find better materials to make better stuff with it.
Yeah, right. So I got we kind of talked about stuff Paige. Obviously, I got the Shadowpunk thing. There's some other stuff that I got from Paige that I talked about last week. I think nothing crazy. Something that did come in the mail today. I know some of you guys know this, some of you guys don't. But I played a game of Ragnarborg with Erica, the creator at Paige. She's absolutely fantastic. And I don't know, like Troy, did you see her there, or did you talk to her, or see her?
I didn't get to talk to her, but yeah, I did see her there. I mean, like I said, I didn't get to play in any games. I didn't get to go to any seminars. I felt robbed, but I mean, I had to take care of my areas. So
she walks up to the table and she's got this thick Southern accent. She's from Tennessee, and I don't want to box the accent, but she just this voice, and she's telling us about Vikings killing each other and to the death and all this stuff in this this Southern accent, and it's just so awesome. But I had a copy of the zine for Ragnarborg, the game, and when I had it in my bag, I think I shoved something else into my bag, and it got shredded. So it's like the metal version of the thing. So I pulled this out at the table, and I'm like, my copy's already been through a couple Ragnaroks, here, and she signed it, on the Yay Violence page. But she said, "Hey, send me your address, and I'll send you another copy." And I said, "You don't have to do that, whatever." So today in the mail, I get this envelope.
Good for her, man.
Yeah.
And I got a nice new clean copy. So, and then very Kickstarter, cool. I guess, should be shipping. I think it's going to be a couple months. Like they're finalizing some of the other stuff.
We meet the best people in this hobby. I swear to God, dude. They're just, there's plenty of people out there that just suck, and all you can do is kind of shrug. But man, the number of super cool people that deal in this far outweigh the losers. It's just great.
That's fantastic. I remember, you mentioned that, and we met Mike a couple of years ago at
Saxon
Page. Saxon,
yep.
yeah.
Page one.
Yep.
At Page One. And so 3 years ago.
Wow, look at that terrain. This is freaking awesome.
Well, it's terrain.
2 hours later.
Well, yeah. And we started talking to him, and I'm like, I started arguing with him because I'm like, there's no way some of this is FDM. And he's like, no, pick it up. Oh, look, you can see the layer lines. I said, no way. And I said, what are you using? You using like a 0.02 or something nozzle, or 0.2 nozzle? Or he goes, no, 0.4 nozzle stock. And I'm like, no, you're shitting me. I'm like, there's no way. And he's like, no, it's all stock factory stuff. And I'm like, bullshit. He's like, no. And I talked to him about it, and he got me back into it. I had this little monoprice mini Delta thing that you had to argue with every time you were going to try and print something.
I started with one of them.
Yeah,
mine was was yours made out of was it wooden?
No.
Oh, mine was a wood, an MDF wood kit.
Oh my God, yeah, and it just yeah. No, mine had the aluminum rails, but yeah, everything about it was like, okay, we're gonna try and print one thing, like this is the goal for today, and you'd have to coax it through and restart the prints, and you have to clean the surface, and everything had to be absolutely perfect.
Yeah, back in the day, it was like you're putting painter's tape on your bed for adhesion,
yes.
or adding glue stick to it.
Yeah, right.
With the enders, I'd have a glass bed, and then I'd spray them with hairspray, which would help with adhesion. I don't do any of that anymore.
Yeah, and you're like, yeah, go look at the bamboos and all of this, and yeah, I got one of them, and like I said, I just print stuff. I just hit print, and it happens.
Yeah,
It's
I,
fantastic.
I still get people all the time. It just happened on one of the groups on Facebook, like Tabletop Adventures or something, where people post their
Yeah.
terrain stuff. And somebody asked, "Oh, I got $900 to spend. What should I get?" And people are, "Oh, go get the new H2S and get an AMS unit."
Yeah,
I'm like,
no,
I go, dude, get yourself an A1 for $300 and spend a couple $100 on 20 rolls of filament and buy yourself an extra nozzle in case it goes bad.
Yeah.
I go, and you're
Yeah.
off to the races, you know?
that's
go,
it. Yeah, the AMS and everything. We've talked about it because I've considered it, but it's just more stuff that's gonna cause problems.
And they break. I have two of them, and they're both partially broken. You know, they've got they hold 4 rolls each, and each one of them has one roll that won't work. The motor or something, the gears in it have broken, and I'll get around to fixing it at some point, but I got to order parts.
Yeah, I keep looking at the second version 2 ones or whatever, that they have, and I keep considering it because it might be cool, but I don't know.
It depends. If you want to do other stuff than terrain, then it's kind of cool to be able to print multicolor. But if you're just printing terrain, then just get an A1 and
that's what Edgelord is saying. Get an A1. The only reason I don't like the idea of the A1 is and I know it's a different animal, but my model price was open, and I had problems with like the humidity and stuff like that. So with the P1S being enclosed, I have less of an issue.
So it's funny.
I don't know if it's just because it's the P1S.
It's funny because I run my P1S with the door open and the top off of it.
Really?
It gets too hot. Yeah. Sometimes for long prints, I'll have adhesion issues for a really long print if it gets too hot in there with everything closed. So I just leave it all open.
Yeah. Wow.
As for the humidity, I bought myself a filament dryer.
Yeah.
And the basic setting when I turn it on is 6 hours for PLA. So when I get new batches of PLA, I literally I'll throw a bag in there or throw a roll in there. When it's done, I throw it into a bag, a Ziploc bag, throw it on the shelf, put another one in. And I try and stay ahead. I've got like 6 rolls dry there. So I have 4 printers I can swap out at any time.
Yeah. Look at this. Troy had some great terrain at Page. I think was that all yours, Mike?
That was mine. Yep.
Yep. Yeah. Pablo, that was all Mike. And I told people, gave him a card because Mike gave me a bunch of cards. And I said, if you want table ready terrain, go right up the hallway, take a left. I said, it's that whole end cap booth, Thunderstruck Workshop.
Nice. Yeah, there you go.
Everybody commented on the terrain that I used for the game I ran.
It's good stuff.
Yeah.
It's good stuff.
I think I've mentioned it before, but when Roger and I walked up to him in Page 1 a couple years ago, the first thing, because I love castles and all that, but everybody knows I play Rangers is what I do. So the first thing I look for nature terrain, and he had these trees and there was a stream. It was just this woodland scene thing. It was large, and I walked up and I was like, "Holy crap, man!" I was like, "Yeah, do you make these?" He's like, "Yeah, I make it." I'm like, Can I touch it? He's like, "Yeah, go ahead, pick it up." So I'm looking at it and I was like, "Okay, so who does the painting?" That's it. And I said, "Okay, who does the painting on this?" He goes, "Oh, I paint everything." And I was like, "Get the hell out of here!" I mean, it's incredible, man. His work is absolutely incredible. I still when he was at CNY last year, I did the same thing. The whole time I was sitting there going, "Oh,
I love
This was a big piece at Page. And I had several people that wanted it. And as soon as it went Sunday, somebody else came up to me and said, "Well, can I order one?" So this is theirs. It's all ready to go. We just got to get it boxed up and shipped out to them.
Nice.
Awesome.
That's awesome. That's awesome. Edgelord, not if you're using the standard PLA stuff. No. It's fine. I guess with like ABS and things like that, you start to get a smell, but
ABS is pretty toxic. You need an enclosure for it because you need that high heat. and you definitely want some kind of ventilation for it. But
yeah, PLA, I think you're fine.
Roger's constantly printing when we're playing, and I've never once smelled it. It's never been an issue for us. And we play in it. The room we play in is not large. So,
can you hear? Say something, Ducato.
No, you guys hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you. Were you trying to say something and we were ignoring you?
No, I don't. I just chimed in when Mike showed that halfling house. I didn't know.
Oh,
because there was a comment in the chat that my volume was low too. So I don't know what's
yeah.
It does you are low, but I can hear you. Yeah.
But yeah, but we can hear. I could try and boost you here. I don't know if that'll help.
Yeah, I got everything maxed right now.
Yes.
We'll see. I just
speaking of resin, it got so bad with my resin printer here that my wife and my son couldn't take the smell, and it's in the back of the basement.
Yeah.
But when I print something there, and I personally don't think it's the resin. It's the resin mixed with the isopropyl alcohol when you clean them is what gets really nasty. I ended up buying a giant walk-in grow tent. I've had people come in and go, "What are you growing weed in there?" It's one of those grow tents, and it zips up and zips up Velcro, and it's full walk-in. It's floor to ceiling, and it's got all kinds of vent holes on it, and I've got 6-inch pipe going out of it, and I went on the laser and I cut a big, thick 3/4-inch piece of acrylic and cut it out for the window, and I took the glass out and put that in there, and I run it out there with a dryer vent. And so now I walk inside the tent and I don't zip myself in there, but it just closes behind me. I turn the fans on high, I do what I need to do, and my wife's like, I don't even smell it anymore. It doesn't get into the house, so it's tolerable. I'm still stupid. I mean, I should be in there with some kind of mask on and and whatever else. I'm in there breathing the stuff, and
I'm sure it's not.
You can get those at any hardware store,
I got the funny part is I have one. I think it came with the grow tent. It's sitting on the shelf, and I just don't put it on. I really need to do that.
Yeah.
I'm that kind of guy that sands and never puts on a
This
mask.
is why women live longer than us.
I know.
Yeah,
I know.
right. You're right.
I know.
So yeah, Ken was one of the guys that was with me down there. Ken and Joe. The turtle, absolutely amazing. That was fantastic. And then and Joe said that he liked the portals there. The portals were really cool. They're set up so that you put like an old cell phone in there, and what is there, like an app that they have where you can select?
It's not even an app. It's just a bunch of MP4 files.
Oh, okay, and you just play it and just put it in the thing.
Yeah,
that's kind of neat. Yeah,
my phone is actually a little small for this, but I could show you. Let me pull it up here.
Yeah, I agree, Paul. Mike, if you you walk in that tent in the back wearing a mask and stuff, the neighbors are going to think that you're making meth.
Well, they're not going to see it. It's in the back of my basement.
Yeah. Yes, you pull that up. So today, obviously, we're talking about ShadowDark. You can tell because we're right on topic as usual.
My phone's a little small, but you can see it there.
There you go.
Oh, it's cool.
Yeah, that's really neat. That's really neat stuff. Those are really cool at the table. So yeah, ShadowDark. So Troy, I guess this is your wheelhouse. You're making stuff for ShadowDark. I guess the first question, right, that I got for you is, and I mean, this is kind of a loaded question, right? Because I think we all know the answer, but why ShadowDark? Why not build for, I mean, there's a multitude of systems out there. Why did you go with ShadowDark?
Well, I mean, basically the simplicity of it. You can take anybody, and I mean anybody, 15 minutes with the quick start rules and the little player guide that you can get.
Sure.
And you're up and running. You can make a character in 10 minutes easy. If you have a computer, you can do it even faster with, like the ShadowDarkling's site character generator and go. And it's very lightweight. It kind of reminds me of whenever I first came into D&D with the Holmes box set, right?
Okay. Mm-hmm.
Where, things were just a lot easy. You didn't have all the extra rules and everything associated with, like there's 5e. Like I write stuff for 5e as well, for DM's Guild with the Greyhawk stuff as well. But yeah, just the bare bones, gritty. Also, like I was brought up, characters are cheap.
Sure. Yeah.
And it's deadly, and I don't like a game where it becomes superhero-y, where death isn't even really thought of, because that's what draws you into the game, right?
Sure.
It gets you on the edge of your seat. You're sweating that dice roll, and what it could be, because you do care about your character, even though they are cheap. Fred the Second just came out of nowhere to, or Fred's brother Ted, or whatever, right?
Yep.
His brother, his cousin, his uncle.
Yep. But just that grittiness, the how the game is, as simple as it is, as quick as it's to pick up. That's all those aspects, was just the seller for me.
Yeah, it's got to be, statting stuff out for it. What a difference going from 5e to ShadowDark. It's going to be so much easier because there's so much fluff that's just, not there anymore. You don't have to worry about trying to, put points and skills and all of that stuff, or, figure out all the minutia.
I'll tell you, and the biggest the biggest thing for me, the hardest part about writing stuff for ShadowDark is editing and paring it down into the ShadowDark format. Because I feel like some things you just need a little bit more description.
Yeah.
Right? Just a few more words than what they go with, and that's how I write my stuff. And if you don't like it, well, okay, but I just feel you need that little bit.
Yeah, it's interesting. Like reading Kelsey's stuff, she's definitely got like just enough words in the right spots that you need to run the thing. Mm-hmm. And a lot of the older modules, they've got everything, right? Like everything's detailed. And if they got the 200-year, 300-year backstory of all of these people, their lineage, every single NPC, down to like how many copper pieces they have hidden in their sock drawer.
Right. I do the Lakofka archive stuff, so I do all the Len Lakofka stuff. So yes, like you just said, how many down to the copper pieces each person has in their purse. And why did he write that? Because if a thief wanted to pickpocket.
Right. That's the thing. That's why I think these modules had all that stuff, was because they needed to be prepared for everything. And so they were trying to say, okay, we need to put all this information in there and then people will use. But I think like with Kelsey, she realized like, oh, you don't need any of that. We'll just put a table in. And then if the thief wants to rob this guy, we run this table to get a name. We roll on this table for, what he's got in his pocket, and that's it. And then you don't have, figure out, you're not counting pennies. It's fantastic.
Without having played it, there is one minor issue that I see with ShadowDark.
Oh boy.
Well, no, it's not a bad thing. It's just like I've been on their Discord a lot, and it comes up every single day. It turns into a heated discussion between people.
Really?
And that's experience. Because the way she wrote it is so vague that these people have varying interpretations of it. Today there was one guy that wanted to argue that one experience is 100 gold no matter what. And I'm like, well, that's not what the book says. The book actually has a chart. And he goes, no. He goes, and he tried saying like a bag of gold is only 100 no matter what, and I'm like, how do you figure that? And he goes, well, look on this page, and I'm like, you're quoting the inventory. It says your first 100 coins are free, and then it's 100 coins. It doesn't say gold. It says coins are one slot. I go, inventory management has nothing to do with value. Right. And he's like, oh, yes, it does. Yes, it does. And he's like, what if they get a giant diamond? That takes up more than a slot. I'm like, why does it have to be a giant diamond? I mean, diamonds are generally more valuable than every other gem you could find. Just doesn't mean they're huge. And he just wanted to argue it. And there were some people agreeing with me and some people agreeing with him. And nobody can come to a consensus on it. And it is very vague. Yeah. So I think it's one of those things that you just need to figure out for your table. What is the house rule we're going to use? This is how we're going to do it. And I'm going to sit down with my players and show them that page and say, how do you guys want to do this? You know,
now, I didn't think it was that vague. I mean, because I see it as being, you know, you're getting XP for what you bring back, you know, what gold that you bring back, right? Treasures or whatever.
But there's a table in there based on levels,
right,
of what counts as what. So as you go higher in levels, lower amounts of gold aren't worth experience. But the thing is, it's like a bag of silver is mundane treasure and not worth anything. But what if that bag of silver is 1,000 silver pieces? That's equivalent to 100 gold,
right?
You know, and they were like, yeah, but silver doesn't count. I'm like, oh.
But if silver, it does, because it has a value of gold. So
I get it. If you find a bag of 30 silver, that's only 3 gold. It's not really.
It does no XP.
That's a mundane treasure.
Yeah.
But you really have to look at it, you know, with an objective view and say, you know, what's realistic here and how does this work in?
Yeah.
That's my only beef with it. That there could be more clarity with that part of it. That should be. Sure. It would be nice to see if in like one of the future Cursed Scrolls, maybe she expands on it a little bit.
Yeah,
I know she wants to leave it up to the GMs, but
you
know, that many people arguing different points of it, maybe there needs to just be a little more clarity to it.
Maybe
too, you'd have to look at and see where some of those people were coming from, like what system were they using before this, right?
Yeah,
so, like, it's different. Yeah, but like it's also kind of mirrors a little bit how DCC does it, like with as far as like, you need 10 and it just rotates that way. But yeah, I was just scanning the rules. Like I still don't see where he was coming up with that. Like that doesn't make any sense. Like I get it, like it's a gear spot, but like you said, that has nothing to do with XP. That's encumbrance management. Like that's not the same thing.
Well, like Dan just said there, 1 gold equals 1 XP. The problem with that is that's the old school OSC. That's AD&D. That's basic, but it doesn't work in ShadowDark because in ShadowDark, from first to second level, you need 20 experience. You know.
Yeah, correct.
And it's, you know, by the book there, it's 30 gold equals 1 XP at that level range. Yeah. So if you want to go with that, I think it's either 20 or 30. I think it's 30. But the one to one, if you did that, your characters would be 10th level maxed out in a couple sessions.
If you're running
0 to 3 is 20 gold pieces.
It's 20 gold.
Yeah,
okay.
20.
If you're running like a campaign where, you know, everybody's poor and you're in the wilderness and there's not a lot of gold or coins out there, then I can see that. But you know, but I understand your point. Yeah, it's like 30 to 40.
And I personally think you should err on the lower side when it comes to gold for XP, and then allow them to spend that carousing,
right?
Because they should be making up the most of their experience through carousing.
I don't like the idea of gold for XP in ShadowDark because of the carousing. Because that's how the gold for XP works in ShadowDark. So now I'm going to try it as written, right? And we're going to see where it goes. But I don't like it. I don't think we need it, you know, because it's an extra thing. But
I do think you need to get. I think, you know, if you're going to do that, I think you need to get in the habit of throwing out that old school mentality. At first level, they might find a hoard of 100 gold, you know, a reward for something, or 200 gold for doing this quest. Instead, it might be 20 gold. and everybody gets one experience out of it, which is only 1/20th of their level for that one little thing to get.
But then they could spend that gold and do the carousing thing later and get free XP out of it.
So carousing is listed under downtime activities. There are other downtime activities in every single one of the cursed scrolls, I believe. And if you start to incorporate all of them, you can look at it and say, okay, you want to learn a new spell. That's your downtime activity. Your party might be carousing and earning experience. You're doing your spell. Now, whether you want to award them experience for completion of the spell, you can, or you could say the only downtime that gains you experience is carousing. The rest of it, you gain the benefit of getting the spells and whatnot. So that's a way to slow it down too, because there's other things to do. And I like that. I hate the idea, especially with, I don't trash on 5e. I don't play it anymore. It's not for me, but it's not a bad system. I understand why some people like it. It's definitely instant gratification in a lot of terms. But
there's things that it's too fiddly, I think, in some aspects for me or whatever. Whereas I really like the simplicity of like ShadowDark or like the OSR type games. Dan mentions shocked that someone on the internet has a shitty reading comprehension. That's can't imagine that.
That was my biggest beef with the whole argument. Was some of the people were just like, I'm like, well, that's a rule you're making. No, but it says 100 gold is 1 XP. And I'm like, show me. And he's like pointing to the inventory. I'm like, dude, you're mixing things up here. That's not.
He's just flipping through and didn't actually, read the thing. This is Ken. Yeah, I'm lucky to be trying ShadowDark and Blacklight this weekend on the same day. So yeah, I'm gonna run a one shot of Blacklight, and then we're gonna start ShadowDark in the campaign world Sunday night. So that'll be fun. Mike, I told you you're welcome to come out if you like. I know you got stuff going on. I know
it's unfortunate because you guys run at the exact same time that my group runs, and we're 2 weeks away from starting a game. So, but we'll see. We'll see because I'm considering talking with some of these guys about maybe doing a weeknight game. And who knows what happens if I switch nights that we play? Then maybe I'm free on Sundays.
Yeah,
I know.
We'd love to have you. Open invite.
I know you don't seem to care. You wanted me to drive out in the snowstorm. Your players didn't even show up, but you wanted me to drive from Syracuse.
You got a brand new truck, 4-wheel drive. You were just you were wanting to try that out.
No, I don't want to. I'll tell you, since I retired, I don't leave my house. I leave my house every day to go to the post office once a day to drop stuff off. And maybe groceries like today. Yeah, that's it. Other than that, I'm a hermit. My wife still works. My kid's in school. My other kid's in college. So they all leave, and I'm a hermit. It's me and the dog all day.
Yeah.
Living the dream.
Yeah, it's not bad.
Torch timer initiative and the gear slots. That's some of the cool stuff, I think. And I think in Troy, maybe this is something that you could fill in on, but I think like the torch timer, like that mechanic, that when you're designing like an adventure, do you like take that into consideration? Are you like trying to figure out like, okay, how long, like how many hours is this going to take? And then try and figure out, okay, that means, a group of 4 people are going to have like 10 torches or something to go in here. Are you trying to design around that?
Yeah, it's funny you mentioned that. Last year at Page, I played in Mike Shea's game, and I like his. Torches are supposed to last an hour. Well, he has a modifier where he rolls a die, and it can be plus or minus depending.
Sure. Yeah.
So that way, you got people who are metagaming, and try to like time that stuff out. And they're like. They're looking at their watch and trying to keep track of it too, right? Like that. I mean, that's part of the surprise, And then it says it in the ShadowDark book. Monsters will go after the light.
Yeah.
And it's a huge swing. So whenever you're designing or building, encounters, you gotta have it in the back of your head that if the light goes out, now your monsters have advantage.
Mm-hmm.
And that increase in possible hits can get deadly really quick, right?
Sure.
It's a possible downward spiral because they also have to roll at a disadvantage trying to find their tinder to light a new torch.
Yeah.
And if the dice aren't kind to you, well, characters are cheap.
So do you guys, those of you that have actually run it, do you guys allow them to relight out a snuffed out torch? Say something happens and a monster douses their torch, or do they just snuff it out? Do you allow them to relight it? Because that came up in the Discord also, and a lot of people claimed, I haven't seen it in the book, but they claimed that Kelsey had said generally she treats it, if a torch goes out, it's done.
Yeah.
So
so I've only played, I haven't run it yet, but I think from reading the book, that's like the simplification of the torch rules, and it's more of a meta thing than it is like an actual in-game thing. And she specifically states that, like, if you light a torch and then a second person lights a torch 10 minutes later, the option is to extinguish the existing light source and start a new timer for the new one, or the new torch rides along with the new, on the existing timer, so that there's only ever one torch timer. So by reading that and the importance of the darkness and everything in there,
yep.
I think that if a torch gets blown out, you're walking down a dungeon and there's a gust of wind or whatever and it blows out, I think that torch is done. And that's the end of that torch, yep. And you need to light a brand new torch. That's my interpretation of it.
Yep.
Troy would.
Yeah, and that kind of goes along with the whole inventory management. You're limited on the amount of spaces you have for what you can carry. So that's another dynamic, which to me, aids in the game and the excitement, right? Of like, hey man, we're getting low on torches. That dark man will just snuff 2 torches in this battle. We only got 3 left, and we're only a third of the way in. How much further can we go in and still have light, managed to go get back out?
Yeah. Yeah, Dan seems to be the same way. He runs, torch goes out, it's gone, delete it from your sheet.
Yeah, I like that idea.
Yeah.
It really gives you that sense of urgency with it too. If something happens,
you go ahead, Mike. I'm sorry.
I'm just saying, if you go into a dungeon and you've only got 3 torches on you, and the fact that a lot of the writing, I think it's great writing, that on random encounter tables doesn't always mean it's a monster. There's things on random encounter tables that your torch might go out. There's the moisture dripping from the ceiling, whatever, or wind blowing blows the torch out. If you play that torch is extinguished and gone, you got to be very careful where you go, because, especially if you let it go out, those random encounters happen more often. It definitely gets deadly without it.
I plan, and this is a good question, I think, for everybody. Like, the way I plan on doing it, like, I don't really want to keep it hidden from the players as far as like how much time is left or anything like that. I mean, I think if you have a real torch in your hand that you can kind of see, that it's burning down or whatever. So I mean, I plan to use like a sand timer, for that kind of effect, and just have that out on the table so everybody can see it front and center. But I know a lot of people have said, yeah, they do a die roll that's maybe like plus or minus 10 minutes or whatever. What do you guys think? Like should the torch timer be hidden from the players, or should you give them, little hints as to how it is? Or what do you think? Go ahead, Ducato.
Yeah, we've always had it visible so they can track it. Because, I mean, you could see your torch, so like you would know if it was burning low. So we've just always done it that way. In the game I played in, and then the one I'm running now, that's how they do it.
Mike, what were you saying?
So when we first start, I'm going to use my phone and just set a 1 hour timer on it. But what I'd like to do is, of course, you know me, I'm going to 3D print a torch. I'd like to print one that'll clip onto my, screen or whatever, or it's got a stand. And I thought
you
about
mentioned using like an Arduino or something.
Yeah, like an Arduino board or something.
I've got some ESP32 boards and all that I thought about
to set a timer
with a couple
or even to have it randomize it. And I agree that yes, they could see the torch, but if you set it on something like that, an actual 3D printed torch with, and I don't mean like little LEDs, they sell those, socketed bulbs that have the flame effects. You put that on there, but then you set it on a board where it slowly decreases the voltage to it as it gets further and it gets dimmer and dimmer. That's their signal that, guys, this torch is running low. We don't know exactly how much time it's got, but we could see it's running low.
Yeah.
I mean, is it needed? No. But, it's a cool thing to add to the game. It would definitely, I don't know. Some people don't like that kind of stuff.
Yeah. Chthonic Musings, you use one of those portals there, but with the timer on it.
Yeah, I could. Maybe I will.
The timer going. Oh, is that the ShadowDark one?
Yeah.
The app?
Yeah.
There's
it's just a website. It's not even an app.
Right.
The guy that Todd Michael Putnam there that was in the chat a couple episodes ago, he made this. And you can hide all that. You can hide the timer if you want to do that.
Oh, you'll have to give me a link for that.
Yeah, it's just torch. If you just put in torch timer, it'll come up ShadowDark, and it's a web page. It's not even an app. So
okay, there's a Kickstarter starting with there's an app coming out. There's a Kickstarter that starts like next week for it. I'm curious to look at it and see what they've done with it and if it's worth backing or not. It better be pretty cheap.
Yeah.
Right.
Does that one has a timer on it, Ducato?
Yeah, I'm trying to bring it back. I don't know.
Is that the torchlighttimer.com?
Torchlighttimer.com. Yep. And you can do a torch. You can do a light spell. Go to torch. Dang it! It starts off with the default hour, but it starts off with the default hour, but you can change it.
Yeah.
Like I said, you can hide it. You can go hardcore mode, which doesn't have the time on it. It burns down, I think, as it goes.
Burn down?
Pretty sure.
Oh, that's interesting.
That's cool.
It even has sound. We never use it, but it has like a flame.
Oh, yeah. When it gets to 20 minutes, it goes to orange. And it's like smaller. Changes. And then when it gets to 5, it goes to red. And then when it gets down to a minute, it's smaller. Yeah, that's interesting.
So the last Fat Dragon Games Kickstarter was all miniatures. And they have a torch base. So I asked, well, so these are brand new. They're not out yet. I asked Tom.
I got them from another guy. Etsy that made some.
Yeah, they make Dwarven Forge makes them, but it's like $38 for a set of 4.
Yeah,
which I think is
I bought them off Etsy for like $10 a piece. I think, if that. I think they were less than that.
Yeah. So I'll be making those. They're supposed to come out in February, so I'll be making those.
What how about you, Jason? What do you think about the torch timer? You think it should be a public thing or
Yes, I think it should be a public thing because I can see my torch in the dungeon.
Sure.
I was reading the rules last night because I wanted to have some familiarity with it when we start talking about it. The rules say a torch lasts 1 hour. It doesn't say about 1 hour. It doesn't say 50 plus D10.
Right.
1 hour.
Yep.
And to me, if it's written in black and white, that's how I want to play it. If the DM puts a timer up and doesn't tell the players, like say, the Ducato's flaming app there, which looks very cool, and I would definitely want to use that.
There you go.
If the DM doesn't tell me because he's hiding the number, which I'm fine with because I've got the torch to interact with, I've got that flame. But if he doesn't tell me this may not be an hour, this is 50 plus 1d10,
right,
then I don't know. And because I'm thinking, okay, I've got an hour, and everybody's got a timer on them with their phones. And at your place when we play, there's a clock right up here that I look at all the time to see how much time we have left. So even if, I would try to immerse myself as much as I could in the timer, but that clock is still there. So if the torch went out and I glanced and only 45 minutes has gone by, I'm like, okay, what the hell are you pulling here? Because that torch, that 1 hour is an extremely important mechanic in ShadowDark. So if you start truncating that hour, then you're taking my survival time away.
That's when you go back to the guy that sold you the torch and
sure.
No.
But
I hear you.
On the other, but the flip side of that, if the DM said, when I'm running ShadowDark, the torch, because it's ancient technology, it's a piece of sap on a stick, it may last an hour, might last an hour and 10, might last 45. Here's your timer. Keep an eye on the flame. Then I would be, that's cool. I'm totally down with that. But the important takeaway from that would be, if you're going to make it randomly short, it should have just an equally amount of chance of being randomly long.
Go over. Yeah. Well, no, absolutely.
Just
so I would do like 50 plus 1d20 and see what you get.
Just keep in mind, pages 110 and 111 have the let there be darkness with additional rules for torches and mishap tables for things that can happen to that torch.
Yeah.
And then under the modes of play, there's a blitz mode, which actually changes torch timers to 30 minutes.
I have not gotten that far into the book.
Yeah. I'm just saying.
Sure. And if it's in there, man, like I said, if it's in black and white in the book, I'm all for it. I just want to know ahead of time. The DM should say, this is the rule that we're going to use. Good luck, guys. Here we go. Cool. Okay, let's play, man.
No, and I'm not advocating that anybody would say, especially me, me. I mean, I wouldn't just say, oh, yeah, whatever it is, and not tell anybody.
Sure,
I would definitely.
And you would not. And that's absolutely true. Roger would never do that to us. But, man, there are plenty of DMs out there that would.
Yeah, there's too many guys stuck with the adversarial DM.
Yes. Or because, it maybe not even purposely adversarial, but to them, they think it's funny. It's humorous. It's amusing them. And I don't like that. I wanted to go back to something that we talked about early on. I've been trying not to interrupt anybody.
No, that's okay.
We beat down 5th edition a lot, and I am all for that because I hate the system, as everybody knows. But one of the things that we talk about when we talk about 5e is how slow it is. And I agree to a point, but I also disagree. I remember when 5th edition first came out, ignore 4th. No one talks about 4th. So really, I'm going from 3.5 to 5th. And I remember looking at the player's handbook, and also keep in mind, this before all the nonsense splat books came out that just completely bogged it down. When the player's handbook came out, I was reading through it and I thought, this is amazing. And the feats thing is specifically what I'm thinking about. I remember the 3.5, even the bare 3.5 player's handbook has like 40 feats in it. And it's just, good Lord, there were so many feats.
Yeah.
But then like in the 5th edition player's handbook, open it up and like one fighter feat covers 4 of the feats that were in the player's handbook for 3.5.
Yeah.
I don't remember what it's called, but like it covered cleave and extra attack and, opportunity stuff. And I was like, wow, this is really slimmed down from what 3.5 was. So I think that 5th edition started out in a good way. I remember it being faster. Certainly character creation was faster in 5th edition than 3.5. But just like Paizo's Pathfinder, the introduction, the first few books were great. And I honestly only have good things to say about them. But then as just like you talked about earlier, a publisher's got to publish. A publisher's got to publish, or the publisher doesn't publish anymore. And so you've got all these books, Morgan Canaan's and all this crap that you just don't need. But everybody gets, and as soon as the player gets that splat book, he's like, I want to use this rule. And that's when the bog down starts. Right. So we're like, when we talk about how bad 5th edition is, in my mind, we're talking about the end of 5th edition, where it just became a mire that you couldn't get out of.
And feats were optional.
Yes.
Yeah. I don't think they are anymore.
So
I wouldn't know.
I have a little different view on 5th edition. I think that when the Lost Mines of Phandelver box set came out, and you had those basic rules that were in there, and you didn't you only had the 4 classes, and you didn't have subclasses. So if you played a fighter, he was the champion fighter. And if you played the cleric, he was a holy cleric, and the thief was just your standard thief.
Yeah.
And, standard wizard. They were perfect. They were great. And if they had continued down that path and said, okay, now we have this paladin and we have this and this, it would have been great. The bloat happened when they started adding subclasses. And then every book, we're going to add more and more. And how do you sell more books? Well, you got to give the players reason. They put in every book was player-facing options. The old school, it used to be these are DM books and these are players. Mm-hmm. Now every book has player-facing options to sell them to everybody, and they have to increase the power level with every single book they put out. So you could just see the bloat every time get bigger and bigger and bigger.
My big falling out, and I'm sure I've already talked about this. My big falling out for 5e was, I think it was the 5e Unearthed Arcana when it came out. There were 3 new options for thieves, and I think there was 1 for ranger. But it wasn't that there was only 1 for ranger, because I liked playing a bare bones ranger. What pissed me off was that the 5e ranger was absolute hot garbage, and they did nothing to address it in the Unearthed Arcana. And when people went to Wizards, on their website and said, hey, when are you going to fix the Ranger? They said, yeah, we know people don't like it. We don't care. We're not doing anything about it. I mean, seriously, that's what they said. And I was like, wow, man, I really hate you people now, and I don't want to play this anymore.
I think over the years, they actually had 3 different iterations of the Ranger that came out in Unearthed Arcana. And every one was a little bit different. And they were like, oh, let's try and fix it this way. Mm-hmm. But I don't know. The game based around that action economy with bonus actions and all that was just a mess.
I ran the basic game a handful of times, the 5e basic rules, and it's fantastic.
It was fun. It was fun.
I think they're fantastic because, like you said, it was just the there was the fighter, and it had that kind of the subclass there kind of built into it, and that was it. And there were the 4 main classes. And that was it. And it was like there was no huge amount of choices to make, and not a lot of rules bloat where you had to look up all these different things whenever you wanted to do something. And so it was it was good, but cool. It's just over bloated. So torches, Troy, did we get your thoughts on torches? What do you think? Do you run them in the public? Do you?
I run them kind of like what Jason said, like I put it up front.
Yeah.
At the con, I ran them for a straight hour because I had enough stuff trying to, finagle and manage and everything. But I did like how Mike Shea ran his with the variation, right? So an hour. Could be a little bit more, could be a little bit less, right? But and he like he gave us clues, right? Like, your torch is starting to sputter a little bit, and dim, right? So we knew, we better light another torch.
Time to light it, yeah.
I like the uncertainty, right? Because it adds a little bit to the tension, right? Gives you a little bit more verisimilitude, drawing you into the game from that aspect. But
and you kind of touched on it earlier, though, when, like, for me anyway, right? When you said, the torch goes out, and now all of a sudden the monsters have advantage and the players have disadvantage. That's a huge swing. Mm-hmm. So I think it's important, like for me anyway, to have the hour timer, have it out in the open so that the players know, hey, it's going down. Because I don't think that, and this is my personal opinion, right? I haven't talked to Kelsey about this, although I should. I don't think the torch timer is there to be a hindrance, on the players, so that it's like, oh, it went out. I mean, I know there's things that attack the torches and things like that. But it's meant to be there as a timer that gets people doing things.
Yes, right. To keep you moving along,
moving in the game, so that it doesn't stall the game. Because I think And again, I don't know. Hopefully we can talk to her on the show someday. But I think all of these kind of rules like that are in ShadowDark, I think they're there because she wanted to solve all these problems. The game moves slow. Well, how do we get people moving quick? And I've heard stories, and it's happened with us, and playing, in ShadowDark and things, where it's like when you start moving through the dungeon and that timer's ticking, like you start standing around and talking. Hey, which way are we gonna go? Are we gonna go this way? Should we check that door? Should we check it for traps and do a smell check and a listen check and see which way our farts blow and and all of this stuff? It's like, yeah, you guys can do all that, sure. And but you're watching that sand come down, or that timer go down. So it's like, shit, we gotta go. Like, kick the door, just go, And I think that's the reason why that exists. So I think to do like a random thing and hide it, like, I think you're just gonna add more, issues to the game. Like, I think that's why she kept it simple. My opinion. I don't know.
No, I totally agree. And what's an episode without story time from Jason? When I was in the Army, I went to Sapper School, and one of the things they would do when you're out doing your field exercise, if you were going too slowly, if the platoon leadership was starting to get vapor lock, they would start throwing artillery simulators at you. And it was called blowing you up the hill, because as soon as you hear the first one go off, everyone hits the dirt. You get up, and usually the platoon leader would say, north 400 meters, however many meters. And if you made the mistake of not running far enough, they would just keep throwing the freaking things. And so you're running, 60 pounds on your back with a weapon and all this crap. And they're making you run for miles because you're running too freaking slow. And as soon as you got caught up to where they wanted you to be, the artillery would suddenly go away. And that's how I think about the Torch and ShadowDark. Kelsey is blowing you through the dungeon because you are taking too freaking long to play this game. Let's go. There's action to be had. And everybody wants to fight. You play D&D to fight monsters, not to drag your ass and watch the thief drag string 50 meters in front of you. So that's what she's just blowing you through the dungeon. And that's one of the things I really like about ShadowDark.
Yeah.
But my 10-foot pole.
Yeah. That's really slow. Yeah, but I get it. The party doesn't want to die because of the pit trap or the block fell on my head. I get that. But how long do you want to sit here and watch the rogue poke the stone with his pole?
Yeah.
Or the wizard to dissect the monster you just killed because he wants some alchemical ingredient, which doesn't even exist. Orcs are too common for that nonsense, but he's going to try it anyway.
Yeah.
We have people that do that.
Yeah.
So yeah, I'm all for blowing you through the dungeon. I think it's a great concept.
Yeah.
I love that she stayed consistent with it too, because if you look at it, a torch takes an hour, a lantern burns for an hour.
Yeah.
The light spell lasts for an hour. There is no continual light. It's you pick your choice of how you want to do it, but this isn't like 5e where you got everybody snapping off light cantrips left and right.
Yeah.
And you don't. It was never an issue. Everybody had dark vision. Everybody had light cantrips.
And then she fixed that. Yeah. And there's been some chat about what about a lantern? And I think it's the same thing, right? Like you get 60 foot, but yeah, same thing. If it goes out, it consumes the oil. It's done. Like Tommy says here, oil goes. If it goes out, oil's corrupted. You spilled water in it. It's done. And that's it. Ken is crazy, but he's going to work on alternate torch rules. Your torch goes out when you say it goes out. This is Ken. He runs. He's trying to build or successfully built, I guess, an OSR sort of version of Daggerheart. I don't know how that's going, but he's doing something where players level up when they want to level up. And so maybe he's going to try it for torches too. Your torch goes out when you say it goes out. Ken, we would love to, hear more about it. Never again. But no.
I still think it's an interesting concept.
No, it's an interesting concept. And I think if you have the right players, right, like you could do that. If you have players that like really want to, get into the feel, like, hey, wouldn't it be great you know, if as soon as the goblins attack, if the torch went out, you know, if you had players that were really into that, like, I think that would be cool. But what do you think about that for adding a house rule in one of your books, Troy? Say do away with the torch timer. The players' torches go out whenever they want them to.
I don't know if I do that. I mean, like I said, it is a huge swing of the pendulum, and you got to take that into consideration. Now, like you said, if you have the right amount of players or the right mindset of players, right, who want to do like a hard mode, then you could do something like that, right? To where they're all on board, but it's a tightrope to walk, right? Because whenever you're designing stuff, you want it to be enjoyable for the players, definitely, but it also needs to be enjoyable for the DM to run too, right? Like Mike said, you don't want it to be an adversarial relationship, right? Everybody is playing games to have fun, and that includes the DM.
Sure.
Well, unless you're like Jason with that maniacal smile, right? And he's like, "Kill them all."
No, I'm not a soft DM, but I have only intentionally murdered a party one time, and they had it coming. Different story. No, I was really laughing at Ken saying, "No, that was a joke." Yeah,
that was a joke.
The players will let you know when the torch goes out. All right, everybody's got one torch, right? We're good. Let's go.
Yeah, we're good.
Because that's what's going to happen.
Yeah, I don't want to edgelord. I don't know if you're referring to current events, but there's enough people that are covering that. Some guy on Reddit went off and was mad about what player agency because he doesn't feel that a DM should be able to kill his character. It should be his.
Well, the DM doesn't kill a character. The monsters do. Or your own bad luck, or your own stupidity,
or whatever. Yeah.
Unless the DM's coming after your character with a pair of scissors, the DM's not killing your character.
Yeah, and my whole thought on that is like if you want player agency to decide whether your character lives or dies, I mean you're playing the wrong game. You shouldn't be playing 5e even though it's rough to die. You shouldn't be playing any kind of OSR game or anything like that. There's plenty of other games out there where you narrate your death out, so, but that's that. Yeah. A lot of talk about the torches and lanterns and stuff. Yeah. And I think that's great. I think that's going to be really interesting. And I've heard some stories from people running ShadowDark for the first time, and they run it and like players will just get through, a whole dungeon. They'll get 2 or 3 times further than they expect because all of a sudden with the sand timer going, all that side chatter stops and everybody's just boom, boom, boom. We got to go, and we got to do the thing, So that's really interesting. I'm going to be really excited to try that out. But what else is there to design around, Troy, that's different from 5e or any of the other OSR games? I mean, obviously the torch timer is the biggest thing I think that ShadowDark kind of brings to the table. Is there anything else that you've noticed, like kind of a different thing?
I mean, obviously gauging how hard encounters are, right? One helpful book that Michael Putlak created. This is a conversion guide to help you. Like if you're running 5th edition, and you wanted to convert your monsters over, and it has this awesome ruler also.
Oh, that's got the quick stats.
Yep, for a quick conversion that you can have, so that way you're not digging in the book. Invaluable, right? Because I originally wrote my Dark Depths in for Greyhawk, and whenever he had that book and I found out about it, I immediately got it, right? And it makes life a lot easier.
Yeah.
but right, designing that your encounters. I haven't worked out all the math yet, right? To kind of like how Sly Flourish, Forge of Foes, or Teus Abadia from Alpha Stream and Mastering Dungeons. Like they worked all the math out for how you can like on the fly, balance or get a good idea of what an adventure, how many hit dice a creature, stuff like that.
Sure.
I mean, that's the biggest thing. And then story, right? Having enough story, and also knowing your players, right? Do you have a bunch of murder hobos? Or do you have people who like that exploration? They like traps, maybe some puzzles along with murder hoboing, right? So I try to have at least all of those elements in an adventure that I design. So that way, or options so a DM can, a la carte pick and choose or modify on the fly as needed.
Yeah. Balance has got to be interesting with the way that the characters and stuff, you roll, every level, like you can get, I think, some really powerful results that way. If you've got a fighter that keeps rolling, like the +2 to the stat, he keeps putting it into strength or whatever, like I think you can end up with, maybe not lopsided, right? But you can end up with a character that's like really good at one thing, like hitting things with a sword.
There's one thing you got to understand about that, though. If the game's designed, they don't have options for rolling a character. I mean, you can play it how you want, but by the book, it's 3d6 down the line.
Right.
So you're generally going to have lower stats to start with.
Mm-hmm.
And second of all, you can't raise the stat. Well, you could raise it above 18, I guess.
But it doesn't matter.
The numbers don't go beyond 18 for player characters.
Right.
So they can't make a super character out of it.
Right.
So having a fighter that by the time he hits 8th level has managed to get his strength to an 18 and maybe his dex up or something, or con up, it's not that big of a deal. It's not overpowered like it could be in other games.
Yeah.
You just got to have players that understand, hey, when you roll those stats, if you have a 12 on strength and you're playing a fighter, play that fighter with a 12 strength. If you survive, you'll be able to increase it at some point.
We have a
Troy. Can you hold up that book again? I'm gonna flop your camera here so that you're backwards, but this way the people at home can read it there. Yeah, creating and adapting monsters for use in ShadowDark. So that's Michael Putlack. He's the he's like, I don't know, Kelsey's handler or something. Is that, I don't know.
He's her assistant librarian.
Assistant librarian. There you go. That's Yep. But yeah, he made that, and it's a short book. It's like $10.
Now,
it's
like that.
Dirt cheap, and I highly recommend it. Like it's on drive through. Here's the sorry.
Oh no, let me
table
contents. Bring that back up. Yeah. So it's got some good stuff in there. It's got some good stuff. Definitely check it out. I think if you're gonna play ShadowDark, especially if you're gonna use some other modules, things from AD&D or from whatever, anything else, just to convert easily. I don't think things are that hard to convert at lower levels. I think when you start getting into higher levels, I think that's where you kind of skew, and you got to figure out where things are at. But yeah, that's cool. Tell Kelsey that we sent you. Well, tell her the Troy, because she'll know Troy. She doesn't know me, but I've only talked to her a couple times, so 3 times now, I think. But yeah,
she probably remembers. She remembered me.
Yeah, no. She's really great. She's fantastic.
Sure.
But I mean, if you go there and say, "Oh yeah, Roger sent me," she's, "Oh yeah," But yeah.
Yeah, that's huge.
Yeah. Final talent helps allows +1 damage. It allows your ranger. She kept rolling +1 to attack and damage range shell. Now she's doing +4 damage every hit with the bow. That's cool. That's cool. Yeah, that's neat. Yeah, it's interesting, the talent trees and stuff. So, or not trees, just the talent tables. So that'll be interesting to see what happens there when we're playing. To go through all the leveling up and all of that.
Yeah, when I was reading my book last night, because it's the first time I've actually sat down and started reading the book because we're starting to play this weekend. I was reading through that. I was like, oh, this is very similar to how RPG Pundit does it. When you level up, you roll the,
right with the level,
the die 8 or whatever. I love that mechanic. I think it's super cool. It almost guarantees that no two fighters are exactly the same. It guarantees that you are gaining an ability, at every other level, or depending on what class you're playing. Super cool mechanic. I'm after reading it last night, and I think it's 310 pages, something like that. I got to like page 25, and I'm like, man, I can't wait to play this. You know me. The first thing I did, what classes are available? Because I'm looking at Ranger. Nope, it's the basic 4, and I'm okay with that. It does not bother me. I'm super psyched to play this game come Sunday.
Yeah, no, I think it's going to be a blast.
So I have a question for you, Roger, about your game coming up.
Absolutely.
And if you can't talk about it because you have players that haven't played yet,
that's fine.
I'm
probably okay.
Are you planning to run something homebrew, a published adventure, or a gauntlet?
Oh, I can't talk about it. No,
he's going to run his own campaign.
No, so because we have an existing campaign that's sort of it's sort of like a West March, I guess. It's got we've got this whole kind of a continent that's vastly unexplored. Basically, I'm just taking that same continent, so it's going to be in the same world, and I'm going to put a town on like the far end, and we're gonna start there, and that's pretty much.
You're just gonna
where it's going to be. So it's going to be mostly homebrew. Okay. I'm taking some pointers from some officially made stuff, dungeons and things like that, just to get not so much balance, but like but to try and see how things are statted out and placed in places, things like that. So I'm going with those kind of guidelines.
Tommy just brought up a point. I know. I don't know. He's talking about the Ranger being an option on the zine. And by the way, Edgelord, I saw that. Appreciate it. You're my boy. I don't. I think I have one, maybe 2 of the zines currently. When I ordered her, her new Kickstarter, I got everything. So everything is coming. Maybe I should just wait till Sunday to ask this, but it's too late now. Are we playing Bear Book, or are you going to allow options?
So I want to play Bear Book. And I want to play, and we're going to do, like I said, my plan is to go like 5 or 6 sessions, mini campaign, and then we're going to talk about it. So for those of you that don't know, I've been running Castles and Crusades. Before that, we used Basic Fantasy. Basic Fantasy didn't have enough meat on the bones for a lot of people, and the lesser powered things and stuff. It's just basic, right? And then so we switched to Castles and Crusades, and then there's kind of some issues there. That we've talked about on the CNC show. But so yes, we're tentatively switching to ShadowDark. We had a TPK, and it was just kind of like a good point to say, okay, let's try something new. So we're going to try ShadowDark for a handful of sessions, 5 or 6 sessions, and we're going to see how it goes. At that point, I think we're going to have a sit-down conversation, obviously with the group, and say, okay, is this the system that is right for us, where we want to go? And then I think we could talk about, adding some of the stuff that's there in the zines and all of that, and what we liked, what we don't like, things that, we wish we'd change and everything. But I want to run as close to raw as possible, just to get, a feel for it. And I think it's easier instead of saying, okay, now instead of this one book, because all the guys don't have books, so that's going to be another thing. So like,
So Roger,
say, hey, here's the book instead of saying, hey, we're going to use these 6 books. Yeah, the quick start. Yeah.
So the quick start is free in PDF on drive-through. So all I did was I actually had somebody print me up 5 copies of this, and I got a comb binder. So I just bound up a copy for every one of my players. And so one of the guys, Pete, he's also got ShadowDark. So him and I have books. So I've got 3 other players right now. They're each going to get a copy. We've got a 5th guy that might be joining us. We're waiting to see. He's a 2E guy, and he was all excited to join, but we're not sure if he wants to play ShadowDark. So I said, well, reach out to him and see. As much as I love 2E, I've run it for so many years. I want something lighter, faster. Less room for my players to debate, because I got to tell you, I got a doctor and an engineer that sit next to each other, and they want to debate everything. They want to debate what actions they're going to take. They want to debate what rules are being used. They want to debate everything. That's why the torch timer is so appealing to me.
You're right.
Like, debate all you want, guys. When that torch goes out, it's getting dangerous.
Yeah.
You want to spend 20 minutes debating? That's fine. That torch is running.
Yeah. No, I think that's fantastic.
You'll probably get a chance to try some different characters too, because if your experience is anything like ours, we've had 2 sessions and I think 3 character deaths so far.
Yeah.
The last one was pretty rough. We had 2 in that session.
That's something that's going to have to require a shift in my thought process for me. I've talked extensively about all the people living in my head. ShadowDark's a lot like Basic. You're rolling a D6 for hit points. If you roll a 1, tough shit, dude, you've got 1 hit point. Good luck. You're going to die very quickly. And so for the first few sessions at least, I'm really going to have to look at these characters as nothing more than a piece of paper. It's gonna have a name, but I don't think I'm going to be committing any kind of personality to these, which is really different for me. But like I said, I'm still looking forward to playing it. I think we're going to have a great time with it. It's just going to require me to put myself in a different kind of space. Be interesting.
Troy, you haven't been around for some of these conversations, I don't think, but
you haven't missed anything. Don't worry about it.
Jason will create a character, and as he's rolling stats and he's figuring out what class he's going to play, he's got like this whole. I mean, it's fantastic the way he does it. I'm not trying to break his chops about it. Maybe a little, but no. It is fantastic the way he's rolling the character, and his mind is going to things, and he's like, yeah, this guy was a grape farmer, and it was his grandfather's farm, and the chunk of his right pinky got cut off when he was doing something, and like he's got this whole the story of this guy's life, and then he 10 minutes later he goes into a dungeon and dies, and it's like it's heartbreaking because we already saw the movie of this guy's whole life.
Man, losing my ranger last month, that did not feel good, man, because I put a lot of thought into that dude. That was rough.
Well, Roger, I'll give you a little tip on, most people kind of laugh at kobolds, right?
Yeah.
So kobolds in ShadowDark,
they get a free free miss. Yeah.
Yep.
Dodge. Yes.
At level 1, that is a huge advantage, right?
Yeah.
Again, it's just one of them
because they're creatures of darkness. So
yeah.
I like one of those little
per day,
oldies, right?
It's once per day they can choose a hit to miss them.
Yep.
Right.
And that's another reason that I'm looking forward to playing ShadowDark. I don't know the monsters that are there. You can call it a kobold, but it's not like it's a first edition kobold. 1/4 hit dice and can't hit shit. This is different. So I'm like, oh, cool. This is a new game for me. It's very.
Wait till you run into a ShadowDark ogre. That one caught me off guard because I've used ogres a lot in other editions, and they're just a 4, like AD&D 4+3 hit dice. Wield a big club. They're a big meat shield. In ShadowDark, the first thing I noticed was, they got 30 hit points, and they do 2 attacks per round at 1d12. Uh-oh. Watch out.
Everybody's dead.
When you're rolling 3d6 down the line and you start off with 2 hit points, that ogre is deadly.
Yeah.
But so is the kobold.
Yeah, Chthonic, I saw your comment here, and I know Ken commented on it that he wants to do a stream. Ken, we'll definitely have you on and talk about your game whenever you're free. You know,
is Chiselheart and Daggerheart the same thing, or
it's his version of Daggerheart that he's made to be more OSR like.
Who, Ken's?
Ken, yeah.
Oh, okay.
It's Ken's game. Ken's building it, so he made it.
I understand.
That's the only reason I'd allow Daggerheart discussion on the show.
Okay, I see. I understand. Because I think Joe mentioned Chiselheart, and I thought he was giving Ken a hard time about Daggerheart or something, and I don't know.
No. But yeah, no, Ken, we'd love to have you on and talk about it.
You know, when Jason mentioned having to get in a different mindset, last year we decided to switch over and try OSC, and most of my players had never played Basic, or they hadn't played it in 30 years.
Yeah,
and we've been playing 2E, and not for nothing. 2E was more of a long form game for us. It's a campaign. Your character's going to develop. It wasn't nearly as deadly. People didn't die a lot. It's not like 5E. You couldn't die. It's just, you know, there's too many ways to keep yourself alive. So we did OSC, and I ran Hole in the Oak, and they TPK'd halfway through the dungeon. They just, they didn't play it like that old school, like they weren't careful enough. They just kind of ran into things.
Can relate. Yeah.
So we might have some deaths here, but I'm going to tell them, just if you TPK on the first night, that doesn't mean we're done. Make some new characters and keep going.
So say the party wipes and you're in the middle of a dungeon in ShadowDark. Does the new party start at the beginning of the dungeon, or do they get like a fast forward? They're halfway into the dungeon. How would you work that?
Well, who's this question for? Is this for Mike, or is this for
really pretty much anybody? Well, and here's why I'm asking. When we TPK'd, fortunately, it was the end of the session. After we fought those spiders, we had planned on going back. It was the end of the night anyway, so it didn't interrupt anything. But if you're 2 hours into a 4-hour session, I mean, I don't want to go home at 6 o'clock. I want to keep playing.
Right.
So what do we do?
So for me personally, right, like if it happens in ShadowDark and it's in a dungeon, I mean, at that point, around the corner, there's some cells or whatever where there's like a bunch of people, and hey, there's 4 players, there's 4 people in them cells, and guess what? One of them just used a rat bone to pick the lock, and now those guys come out and pick up the swords, and they hopefully slay the kobolds or whatever, right? Like, and they're right there. It's harder to do out, in nature or whatever, but hey, maybe with the spider thing, like if it's 2 hours in, you do a similar thing where it's like, okay, they, web up the things, and then now all of a sudden you're this party that's inside the spider layer. These spiders are coming back, or the spiders left to go get, a new meal. And so that's your time, that's when you cut yourselves out of these, these sacks or whatever. And you're escaping as the spiders are coming back or something like that.
We have dissenting opinions in the chat.
Oh, boy.
Yeah, I would. I'm actually kind of. Well, I would do either.
Party starts, I
guess.
In town, yeah.
But I would do the. I would also look at the. Is it?
Yeah, you're plenty loud now, man.
God damn it. No, I don't think what Roger said's wrong. But I would also lean towards, because I have other adventures set up for the ShadowDark game, so I would probably start a whole new party in town and be like, throw them on that other adventure, and maybe they'll eventually lead back to the original one if that's something they want to complete. But I tend to do if we're in the game we had, like guys were dying during the session, but not a TPK, yeah, their new character was showing up, or like one of the guys, he's lost 2 characters so far, and the second one was coming after the first one because there was some sort of interest there in that one, and just try to make it easy. But I also don't want to like totally suspend like
sure
a little bit of realism too.
I think so. Ken and I were discussing this I think last week or a couple weeks ago, and I think I don't know if it's like official yet or whatever, but I wanted to start talking about that and maybe do an episode or maybe do like a PDF or something and put it on drive through or for free for people to download or whatever, but to discuss like what to do after a TPK, and maybe have things with some monsters and things like that where you can say, okay, hey, if they're spiders, maybe you can have them, web up the people or whatever in cocoons and like drag them back, and then maybe they wake up or things like that, and just have these ideas there, and list them out, have a bunch of ideas listed, and then also have them listed out, by monster. And that was kind of Ken's like major input, was like, it'd be cool to have that. So you say, okay, so when this type of creature TPKs, the group, you kind of can say, oh, here's like an option to do, with that, like maybe the goblins are going to take you hostage, and they're going to try and, do something, or get a ransom or something, you know what I mean? And, or like, werewolves they're going to try and figure out which of you is the strongest, and then, and then turn, that one into a werewolf, and that's their plan, or, things like that. I think that'd be cool.
Got a ton of great responses in the chat. I'm liking all of these. Down at the bottom, Edgelord talks about the new party heard about the old party and come back. That's like the perfect way to set it up. The new party's in town. They're at the tavern. The bartender says, "Hey, I got a friend that went out to this dungeon 2 weeks ago. He hasn't come back. You want a job? Send him out there."
Yeah.
Or the dungeon with multiple entrances. That I have never even considered that. A dungeon has one entrance and one exit. You got multiple entrances. If a party wipes, next party's going and completely opposite side of the dungeon. They will never meet until 3 hours later. There's a pile of bones and used gear sitting there.
Yeah,
I think that's
really Citadel cool. Scarlet Minotaur. Yeah, that's a cool one. That one's got like 3 different entrances. Although I don't recommend going in the middle entrance there that brings you. I don't know if you guys have read Citadel of the Scarlet Minotaur, but there's one entrance that drops you directly into the Minotaur's lair.
Now that one, I thought about running that, but that one's coming out with a premium hardcover as a stretch goal for the Western Reaches. So I'm going to wait until I get that before I run it. Can I share something with you guys? It's ShadowDark that I found. There's lots of people writing stuff for it, and Troy turned me on to. I'm not at my computer, so I'm having a blank on the name. Who was the one that you told me had all the great stuff, Troy? Do you remember?
Oh, Bill Havart, the Righteous Vow.
Yeah, the Righteous Vow stuff is really good. But there's this other guy, and I pulled it up on another thing. So how does this?
So you can go down and hit the plus button, I think, to add it.
Can you see this?
Can.
Okay.
Not yet.
So
Give me a second. There it is.
So this is Chris Paul, and that Letters from the Dark Dominion is a Kickstarter that's about to come out, but he's got these books, and they're on drive-through. If you go to his site, you can get print versions also, and you can see they're cheap here. This Borderlands one is highly rated because it's his own take.
Yes,
it's his own take on it, and the start of it, you literally have to go take the keep back because it's occupied by monsters. So you take the keep back, and then the players actually get the keep as their base of operations.
That's neat.
But then it has all the caves and all that stuff, and it's his own twist on it all. This Letters from Dark Dominion Kickstarter that's coming out is going to be an expansion of that with all kinds of, he's got, hireling and mercenary rules, 200 new monsters, 618 random encounters, but then you go through the keep and the caverns, and it's worked so it goes all the way up to level 10. It looks really good. I bought the original book. It's like, I don't know, $25 or something. And
yeah,
I bought it the other day and it's already shipped. It'll be here Friday.
Nice.
So I might start my players with that, and run a good old Borderlands. I think that'd be a lot of fun.
Yeah. Yeah, that's awesome. And
but it's some good stuff. If you read the reviews, he's got a ton of reviews on Drive-Thru, and everybody seems to say it's really good stuff.
So the Kickstarter is it's not started yet.
It hasn't started yet. Or do you want me to put the link to his?
Yeah, please.
Let me go back to the main site. Here we go.
Yeah, that'd be really cool.
So how do I link this here? Just link it in chat.
Put it in the private chat, and then I could put it on the stream. If you try and put it directly on the stream, sometimes it filters.
I don't even see how to type into the stream, to be honest, on here.
Oh, you might not be able to from there.
Yeah, I can see the chat, but I can't type into it. That's fine. There it is there.
Yeah. You have to open up a separate window where you're watching the video in order to interact with it.
His stuff, like I said, it looks really good. He actually has a set that I was thinking about buying that I think, or no, maybe it was the Bill Havart had a set that had all of them in one as hardcovers.
Yeah.
So there's some really good stuff out there.
I've seen that Borderlands book. I think I've seen it on Drive-Thru, and I think a couple people have mentioned it, and it looks awesome. And it's on my list because I love Keep on the Borderlands.
Yep.
So I've got like a few different versions of it that I've ran, and
yep.
Yeah.
Well, and like you, I've got Into the Borderlands, the Goodman Games 5e1, and for me, I think that's awesome just for inspiration and resources, because they added all that stuff to it. So take that stuff out of it and use it in your game.
Absolutely.
So I think I'd use his Borderlands that's made for ShadowDark, but then I can add that stuff into it. I mean, you can have an entire campaign just based right out of that one location.
Yep.
They don't have to travel the whole world. There's so much going on in that area.
Yeah. Yeah, it's interesting.
Caves, ruins, dungeons, whatever. It's all there.
Yeah.
This is the one I'm currently running for my Thursday night group.
Shadow Keep, yep.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah, it's written. Oh, I got the OSR version, so it's pretty simple to convert.
Yeah.
So far, it's been pretty good.
That's awesome. I'm gonna have to look at that one too. Troy, I love Keep on the Borderlands.
Troy, when you write ShadowDark stuff, it's like I think Kelsey has an OGL 1.1 in this, and I don't think it's the Wizards OGL. It's their own thing.
Yeah, it's their own one. They got a one-page third-party license.
Do you follow that OGL? So like basically, is yours like an official ShadowDark zine that you're writing, or is it ShadowDark?
No, it's third-party.
Okay, cool.
Yeah,
so it's compatible, but it's not official ShadowDark merch.
Correct.
Type stuff. Okay, cool. Doesn't mean it's not good. I'm just asking, like what laws do you follow? Really, was kind of the question.
Yeah, it's funny you bring that up. We got story time with Troy here.
Lay it on.
Right. A couple days before Page, right? I set up the Dark Depths prototype on my table downstairs on the coffee table, and I take a picture of it and I post it to the Page website or to Facebook group, right? And it was getting all kinds of hits. I was saying, hey, this is going to be debuting at Page, right? Because I wanted to provide a proof of concept, right? Because how many Kickstarters are like vaporware, right? So that way, people, if they are coming to Page, they can see it. They can see the physical products, where it's at, right? The book is, like with everything, it's like 85, almost 90% done, right? Well, I was looking, I was checking back and I was seeing, all the likes and people commenting. Then all of a sudden I get a comment from the Arcane Library, Kelsey. It's like, hey, Troy, this looks awesome. we need to talk about some trademark issues, though. Could you please email me? And my heart sank. This is like 2 days before Page. I'm like, oh my God, what did I do? So I email her, and then I'm sitting there and I'm hitting refresh, waiting for her to, my heart is just sinking lower and lower. It's like, oh my God. And then she replies back and is like, hey, it's really cool. Sorry that I didn't catch you sooner, but like the word ShadowDark, right? Because it was originally named ShadowDark Depth. Well, ShadowDark is trademark, obviously. I'm not the sharpest spoon in the knife drawer whenever it came to that. Not that. But then also Western Reaches is trademarked as well. And I had that on the one big poster map. So she was very nice, very kind. It's like, oh, don't worry. Like she kept apologizing about that she was sorry that she didn't catch it sooner. And I'm like, well, I really haven't been putting it out there. And I said, you are kind of busy wrapping up a Kickstarter and other things. I said, not your fault or whatever, but she made some recommendations. She was like, well, why don't you call it The Dark Depths, And then she like gave 2 other titles, and she's like, no, they're lame. Just go with The Dark Depths. And I'm like, whatever you say, Kelsey. I was trying to be accommodating, because it's like, I was like, this is definitely not the foot that I wanted to start off with you, whatnot. And she was like, she's like, oh, don't worry. She goes, my assistant librarian, Michael Putlak. And I was like, yeah. And she was like, well, he did the same thing. So, and that's how I found him. And then, she's like, oh, I hired him, so. And then she talked to me at Page 2 different times and stuff, and was very interested in that and everything. But yeah, that was, and I was like, well, can I do it? Can I still show this off at Page or whatever? And then I came up with the idea of putting the tape across, right, to alter the book, and then I put compatible with the above Western Reaches on the map. And she's like, oh yeah, she goes, that's good. And she thanked me for being understanding and amenable. And I'm like, hey, I just want to be above board and, do what's right, so
cool.
I mean, I can't, she was very gracious, very kind, and I very thankful for that.
She really is super nice to talk to.
Yeah, it's just another check in the why we like Kelsey block, check, super cool, patient. That's great. Good.
But I was, man. I was getting sick in my stomach. I was just like, oh God, no.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Yeah, and she's fantastic to talk to, and she's great. And yeah, she deserves all the all the hype and everything that she gets. It's all well deserved. And she's pretty modest about it too. So, but yeah, it's awesome. No, so that's really cool stuff, and I can't wait. And when so your stuff, the Dark Depths, is that a whole campaign setting, or like what are we looking at? Let's hear. Let me put you on the.
So basically, the Dark Depths is ShadowDark but underwater. Ever since I was a kid, I wanted to be the next Jacques Cousteau. I got pretty close. I was in the Navy on submarines for 20 years. Retired. I was a diver also. And I just started putting this stuff together. I got 3 zines to go with it.
Nice.
That book is at 332 pages currently.
Wow.
And I still have about another 100 yet to convert. This is some of the awesome artwork by Joey Dosel, who is in chat or was in chat. For it. Basically, awesome. These are the character cards. Just like I basically followed the same format as ShadowDark in making all of this stuff.
Yeah.
I have where'd it go? Here's a smaller version of it. A DM screen. You'd be surprised that the United States doesn't have or I can't find anybody to make DM screens. So I got mad and said, hold my beer, watch some videos, bought some supplies, and through trial and error and pain and suffering, I made those basically
Nice.
just for the primer. So, but yeah. So
yeah,
basically that has new species, new classes, all water themed. The layout, like,
oh yeah,
there's the table of contents for one page,
nice.
and I gotta
Yeah.
get used to that. The other page, the only things that are in that are not in here yet is naval combat and some more rules for underwater combat.
Mhm.
Just to give you an idea for like the underwater combat, like I picked, I had Dawn Patrol, and people were like, "Why the hell do you got Dawn Patrol? That's World War I air combat." I go, "Yes, but it's combat in 3D."
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Right, and people forget that, right? In underwater, you got 3D combat, and then I got enemy in the sights and wooden ship and Iron Men and other stuff to I want to and of ships in the sea to get a better system for naval combat and one that's specifically designed for ShadowDark as well.
Yeah.
Trying to use the same simplistic but complete rules to use for that.
You know what I think Dark Depths really needs, Troy? It needs an adventure based around a giant turtle.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Maybe it'll come out and they could.
Maybe there's a specific model we're thinking of.
Yeah, maybe they could tame it and have a big
I got
on its back.
At that page I ran 2 different adventures. It was Tides of Dread and the Defense of Driftwitch, right? This is Tides of Dread. Some more stellar art from Joey Dosel. Don't be that guy. And then the Defense of Driftwitch, right? These are the actual adventures that I ran. The first one is basically like the town is under attack, kind of, and then has story in it and whatnot. And then part 2, the Defense of Driftwitch, is where you get 3 days to prep the town, kind of like a 13th Warrior vibe is what I based it off of.
Cool.
And you have to survive the waves that attack. And it's a hybrid mass combat and player agency still with their characters. And it worked out good. Like, I got very good feedback and good comments from everybody on that. And those will be in the book as well. So it'll be probably 450 pages.
Wow. The ones that you were showing us earlier, are those all on your website?
Oh no. On my website you can get since we're talking about it, Curse on a Coastal Town. Mike mentioned it earlier, right? This again, I originally wrote for Greyhawk and then saw the light of not to give it to DM's Guild, because if you don't have to play in their sandbox, why give up your IP that you're creating and stuff. So it changed, and now it's an anthology of different adventures around a centered theme. Spoiler: hags and a coven, and how they're terrorizing all these like coastal towns and areas. So you're going around. It can be ran in any order. It's at final editing right now. My Australia contingent, if he's still here, is doing the final edit on it, and then once that comes back, then It'll go to design and layout, and I'll have my map guy tweak some maps that have changed due to the change. But that one adventure got cut from this, and that's called the Waterfall Cave, and it is free on my website that you can download. I put multiple posts out as well, but you can find it on the website. That's got, 2 levels, a good story, variation of Viperians, awesome art from Joey Dosel again, and some stock art that I got also off a drive-through. But it's there for free on the website. Also, there's the Lakofka archive stuff. If you like, the old school original, 1980s dot matrix, Lynn Lakofka, I take them, gloss them up, get art for them, new covers, and then, or is unfinished or unpublished work and put that out. That's all for free on my site or Anna B. Meyer's website for download. And then I have some other free adventures that are on there in the adventures tab that are free as well. So I haven't put up my store yet. The website will be getting an overhaul at some point this year. I got some other stuff to take care of, but Curse on a Coastal Town will be out this quarter, or beginning of spring. And then the other major ShadowDark thing is Tomb of the Umbral King.
Oh, what is that?
This is an adventure that I wrote. It's got a map in it. If you know where Zine number 2 is, the map on the Western Reaches, it's directly southwest of that map of equal size that I have. That's going to be part of that, and that's going to be a zine covering that whole area.
Cool. So Joey Dossel there was saying, show us the giant turtle art, the big turtle art. I don't know if you got that readily available or.
Yeah, hold on.
Mike had a huge turtle at Page that he print that's got it's got like a little like a hut, I guess, or even a town, like a shop and everything like built onto its back. And I think that would be really cool for like a West March kind of game where you have the turtle as like your base of operation, but it moves it's a huge turtle, right? But it moves really, really slow. So you like head out, to the west or whatever, and you maybe go out 20 miles, go in the cave or whatever, do the thing. And then like you come back and maybe in that point, maybe the turtles made it 1 hex over or something, you have something where maybe it's a hex a day or something like that. Let's see. Yeah, that thing there. That thing is awesome, Mike.
Yeah, I'm going to make another one and bring it to Central New York, I think.
Yeah.
It's funny because I had, it didn't go until Saturday, and Leo grabbed it, and I knew Leo.
Yeah.
We all knew Leo was going to buy it.
Yeah, you're right.
But there were probably 5 or 6 other people that were very interested in it. So, I think, I'll make it and then I'll be sad like I was with that one when it sells. But it's business, it's business. That's why I do it. So I'll just make another one for myself at some point.
What would that cost unpainted?
I would have to slice it up and see. I think, I'll be honest, I priced it. So if you had seen it, every layer of that on its back, every single piece was a different layer that could come off and be used independently. So you could really configure how you wanted. And I printed the shell for it. So you could take it all off and put the shell on. So it was just the turtle. And I packaged it all together for $500 painted. And painted. And believe me, I know fully well that was underpriced. There were so many people that were like, that's all you're charging for it.
Man, we have talked about that every time we have met in person.
Yeah,
you are selling yourself short every time.
I get it, but there's, the problem is there is a distinct group of people in this hobby that has unlimited money and will spend on this stuff. But then there's a lot of other people that just can't do that. So I try and make stuff for everybody.
Yeah.
Generally the rule is usually half the price. Usually painted is about double whatever the unpainted is. It's probably somewhere in that range, around $250 unpainted with everything.
Wow, man. Wow.
There's actually a standing version also of the turtle where he's standing up and attacking. So I'd kind of like to make both of them. Yeah. I would definitely like to make two of them.
Let's see what Troy's got here. Oh, look at that guy. That's cool.
That guy would be perfect for it.
That's cool. Yeah. Wow. Yeah, that's awesome. And this is Joey Dossel's art.
Yes.
Yeah, nice. That's cool. That's cool stuff. Yeah, Mike, the mini would be. Well, I don't know if you can call that a mini anymore.
Yeah, it's not a mini.
It's a maxi.
It's a maxi, yeah.
No, that thing's cool. No, I'm seeing that thing like in person and painted aside. It's just, oh man, it looks so cool.
I will tell you, the stuff that I painted for you that's going to be in the auction this year.
Yeah,
it was my first time doing it. It's sitting on my table, and I got to tell you, every time I walk by and look at it, it looks so. I absolutely love it. I do. I got to make a set for myself because I walk by and look at it, and I'm like, nothing that I have has vibrant colors like that. I mean, it's really vibrant, but it needs to be because of what it is, and it really, yeah. And I'll tell you, I talked to my wife about it, and I decided that the two pieces that we're going to be putting in the auction, and just without getting into details of what it is, I'm doing terrain, and Emperor's Choice has donated some minis to go with the terrain, and Ducato's painting those minis to go with the terrain. So all three of us are coming together for these big sets, and
I'm gonna stat them up. I'm gonna stat them up.
They're going to be
do a little
exclusively at CNY.
Yep, they're going to be pretty killer. So I talked to my wife about it, and I decided that those two products that I'm doing will not hit my store and be listed for sale until after CNY is done, because I don't want somebody,
Yeah, there you go, Troy.
I put that up there, and as well as I do that Leo's going to buy it.
Yep.
Yeah.
And I would love Leo to buy it, but I would rather have him bidding on it at the auction to help out the convention. So I'm going to wait till after, so that stuff isn't going on my store till June.
Yeah, no, that's cool. And we appreciate that. And I think CNY is going to be an absolute blast.
Yeah.
Troy's coming. Pretty sure he's coming. He's going to run some games, have a good time. Mike, you're going to be there. Ducato's coming. Jason's going to be there. Obviously, it's going to be great. This Tommy Bravo, he can't say enough good things about you, Troy. I don't know. Whatever you gave him was money well spent, let me tell you.
Hey.
No, I said he had a blast playing, took feedback, very well, fun. Yeah, so that's awesome. And Mike's minis in the game, were excellent. So
and while we're doing compliments, Todd is also talking about Mike's model, and I think he's talking about the turtle there in particular. Todd's a professional modeler, so him saying that it's excellent.
Cool.
That's coming a lot.
Cool.
So.
Believe me, I'm on his Facebook group there. I've seen Todd's stuff. His setups are just amazing.
Super impressive. Yeah.
Yeah.
They are. I'm like, it's funny because I have all this terrain, but my setups at home don't ever come close to his.
Well, there's a matter of space. That's always always a problem for me.
Yeah. I mean, I'm bursting at the seams here. This is my biggest problem. I'll just show you real quick. These things take up so much space.
Yeah,
I have
a very first world problem you have there.
They're all over the house now. I have them in the other room. You know, they fill up a whole wall in the other room. They fill up a wall here. They're in the back where the printers are. They're in my garage.
Yeah.
Do you have Kangaroo?
I don't have Kangaroo, no.
Dragon's Lair?
I have a Dragon's Lair 2 cabinet out in the garage that needs to be fully restored. It does not have a game in it at the moment. It's just an empty cabinet. Yeah.
Oh man.
Yeah, I've been doing this stuff forever. So we cleared a whole area of my lot last year, and we're going to build a shed first thing in the spring, and everything comes out of my garage. And when that happens, I think all of the arcade machines go to the garage, and it's going to become a permanent home for all of them. So that'll free up room in my game room and free up room for more printers. And to be honest, I just need shelves for all this terrain I make.
Yeah,
I do.
It fills up fast. My basement's full of stuff. Like, it's just everywhere.
Oh yeah, here. I hate spinning the camera because it's such a mess in here because it's just literally 3D printed stuff stacked everywhere.
And that's why like I try and be careful with what I print. I try and print like flat dungeon tile pieces, or I don't know the like Fat Dragon Games there, which is fantastic stuff. Tom Telesky, he's got excellent stuff. It's all or at least everything that I printed has all been sportless and all that. But the tiles they have, they've got like the regular, so they've got cave tiles. Now that's that's the Dragon Lock.
This is
line that they call.
So this is Dragon Tiles. That's the last Kickstarter he did with these, and they're all short walls.
Yeah.
And I'll be honest, back in the when I first started doing it, I was like, I don't want short walls.
Right.
But after years of doing larger walls, I really like the short walls because nobody has to stand up to see what's going on at the table. You know, they still have like I said, it's not, I don't know where it is.
Yeah.
I got more boxes of this stuff everywhere. I was just pulling these all out. No, this is more of the same stuff. I've got boxes of doors and all that stuff. So the doors are full height. So you have torch walls that'll be like full height. So you can have the shorter ones mixed with them.
I think the shorter walls are fine. And I have the cave set, and I like the shorter walls for that. It's just easier to see.
The only thing that's not good about the shorter walls is if you want to stack levels. You know,
that's where they fall down.
Yeah. Right. You need to have something to stack them on, but but again, if you go back to Todd's site and you look at his stuff, he comes up with all kinds of creative ways to create elevations and stack stuff, and I've gotten tons of inspiration just watching his stuff, and I've been doing this for years.
Yeah,
but I see his stuff.
I've done it with
why did I think of that?
I've done it with no walls, and just click the stuff together and just leave the square edge, and that's the wall, right? And it's open and it's clean, and it works. Death Angel wants to know how you acquire the arcade cabinets. I've gotten a few of them over the years that I've gotten rid of. I have an Arkanoid 2 machine in my garage that works.
I've got an Arkanoid right there.
And I've had a Mr. Do machine that I repaired and then got rid of.
Over there.
And I had a Mortal Kombat 2. I still have a Mortal Kombat 2 machine in my basement that the soundboard went on, and a replacement soundboard cost as much as a Mortal Kombat 3 board. So I bought a Mortal Kombat 3 board and got the ultimate upgrade chip for it. So I got ultimate Mortal Kombat 3, which I got to get rid of them. So Death Angel, that's how you get them, is you drive up here with a big truck for CNY and you buy my Mortal Kombat and my my Arkanoid machine, and then you'll have 2 of them.
You and I might have to talk about your Mortal Kombat. So I restored a Mortal Kombat 1, 2, and 3 in my old house, and I had no room to keep my games, so they all got sold. And that's one that I wish I still had. One of them I had done as a multi with a multi-board in it, and it had Mortal Kombat 1, 2, and Ultimate 3 in it. with a switcher. I would like to get one again, so you and I might have to talk about your.
I think I still have the Mortal Kombat 2 board, but the soundboard for Mortal Kombat 2 was separate from the main board. And
if you have it, I can repair it.
But I think I still have it. Anyway, that's our electronics portion of our. So some of these guys, Mike, have actually they've actually expressed interest in talking about getting into more like technical stuff that's gaming like super adjacent.
Yeah.
If you want to talk about, maybe we get Death Angel Shadow on and we can talk about old arcade machines, repairing them, some of the electronic stuff and cool stuff like that. I think these guys would love a show about that.
Yeah, we could definitely do that.
But yeah, no, that'd be cool. But yeah, let's talk about we'll talk about the Mortal Kombat machine. But but yeah, so we were talking about ShadowDark today. Was that the
that's the topic.
My notes. My thing, this is maybe a controversial talk on this, and I don't know if you guys have thought about this, and I don't know how I feel about it yet, but is ShadowDark, is this just like a fad? Is this a thing is this just the, like we see Morkborg. I know, Jason, you want to say a lot of things. Let me just finish my statement here, and then I'll let you go. Like Morkborg, right, hit. And then it seems like a ton of people dumped and made everything from Morkborg. And there's a whole slew of stuff. And there's still stuff coming out now. But I think it's slowing down. And so is ShadowDark, is that the same thing? Are we going to see the next thing in 10 years? And ShadowDark will be, a forgotten memory?
Well, I do think you're going to see the next thing. But I don't think ShadowDark will be a forgotten memory. I think it has staying power. People are going to jump on the new next thing. Right now, ShadowDark's hot and has been for quite a while. But I don't think it's a fad. I think eventually, over time, people may have played it 5-10 years and something new comes along and they'll jump and try something. But I don't think ShadowDark's going anywhere. I think she did a good enough job with it. I mean, OSC was really big for a while. I think the reason why OSC kind of got overshadowed by ShadowDark is because of the fact that OSC didn't really do anything new. And ShadowDark doesn't either, but it incorporates the new and the old, which OSC was really just like, hey, we're taking basic and just recompiling it in a book. Yeah, we're rehashing
We're making it legible and put an index in it.
And there's lots of great games that do that. I mean, Dragon Slayer is a great game, and OSC is a great game, and Labyrinth Lord is a great game, but they don't bring a whole lot new to the table. They're bringing the old stuff, and if that's what you like, they're perfect for you. But if you want something new, which I think this is a good bridge between 5e and the old school.
Sure,
I think so.
What do you got, Jason?
The timing of your question, I think, is flawless. First, I think Morkborg is a fad. I know that Joe disagrees with me. Joe is the only person I know that is an adherent to Morkborg. I've been playing D&D for a long time, and I know a whole lot of people that play it. None of them play Morkborg. That does not mean it's not a good system. I just disagree with Joe. I was flipping through Facebook the other day, and I made the mistake of talking about ShadowDark while my phone was sitting near me. So the speaker was listening to me. So now my Facebook feed is just full of ShadowDark stuff. And 90% of it is just hot trash that says compatible with ShadowDark. So I think ShadowDark is in danger of becoming a fad. However, I do not think that ShadowDark is a fad. Just like Mike said, I think it appeals to a very wide audience, so that is going to keep it from fading away. And that's Morkborg. Morkborg has a very specific audience that it's for, and again, no problem with that at all. But ShadowDark has such a wide audience. It touches people that like 5e. It touches people that don't like 5e, and it's so easy. And that was one of the things that Troy was saying earlier. You can take anybody, and in 15 minutes, you can have them sitting down and playing ShadowDark.
Yeah.
So that alone, I think, is going to keep it from being just another OSR, and we know that ShadowDark is not OSR, but just a new thing out there that we can roll dice for. I think ShadowDark is going to be around for a very long time, and it doesn't hurt at all that Kelsey is so freaking approachable.
Right.
It's she is the best ambassador for her game, and that ShadowDark's can be around forever. But when I look at my shelf over here and I see all my 5e stuff, or not my 5e, my first edition, all my orange backs, I see those and it makes me smile. I think that in 20 years, when I still have this book on my shelf, I will look at it and I will smile. And that's for me, that means a heck of a lot. So there you go. Anyway, I love the timing of your question because like it was yesterday. I was looking at my Facebook thing. I was like, "Fuck's sake!"
Yeah.
Well, there's my 1F bomb. So there you go. Yeah.
Chubby Funster is there. And I pulled these out to talk because we're going to talk about ShadowDark. But he's got the GM companion for ShadowDark, which I think is absolutely amazing.
Yeah.
Shadow Sun, which is Dark Sun for ShadowDark, which is
Shadow Rim,
awesome. Shadow City, Blood and Neon, which is sort of like, for me, this is like VTM only actually playable. Sorry to anybody that's out there, like Vince that was in love with old school VTM, and then of course Shadow Rim, which I don't even play Skyrim. I don't even, should I say this out loud? I don't even really like the game that much.
You don't have to like it. You can be wrong. It's fine.
This is fantastic. I can be wrong. This is absolutely fantastic the way he designed it and everything else. Yeah. Chubby, props to you, buddy. And we had him on the show, and it was we had a great conversation about it.
Yeah.
And Ducato and Jason talked his ear off for hours talking about Skyrim. I have no idea what they were talking about.
Hey Roger, where did you get those prints? Are they from drive-through or does he have a site?
Drive-through. So if you if you back his Kickstarters, you get like the print, the POD at cost codes.
Yep.
And but you just go to drive-through, and they're decent hardcovers. But if like Shadow, like if you're into ShadowDark, I would definitely check out Shadow Rim.
Well, I'm actually interested in the player guide, the GM's guide, and the Dark Sun. I mean,
I don't have the players.
I love Dark Sun.
Guy, the GM companion, but this is nice because it's got like extra. It's got the extra carousing tables for the different classes and stuff in there. He also has an equipment guide. I only have that on PDF. He's got the I forget what it's called. I think it's just the ShadowDark equipment guide, maybe. Sorry if I'm botching that, buddy.
I'm the sucker that sort of thing is written for. One of my favorite reference books of every system I have is the Arms and Equipment Guide. I don't care what system it is. If it's got pictures of cool swords and a neat backpack, I'm like, ooh, I need this book. Sold.
Joke's on you, Dan. I'm lactose intolerant.
Your oat juice is in the fridge, though. You'll have to get that. I refuse to call that milk.
Yeah, I know. No, I'm with you.
I should probably learn this lesson to not get into a new system right during or after a convention, because I go there with all my terrain stuff and I make all this money, and then I come home and it's all sitting in my bank account, and I'm like, well, I could buy this and this, and it's all play money. It's like, and I just keep buying and buying for ShadowDark, but that's okay. That's okay, because I've kind of told some of my players that if they don't like it, I'm going to find new friends. And it's half joking, but only half. I mean,
Shadow Sun. He's talked about this on our thing. He's getting the maps and art and stuff. So he's gonna be redoing that.
Nice.
Or a refreshed edition.
Will that be a Kickstarter?
I'm not sure.
Well, that was the question.
Yeah, what do you think?
Chat, so
what do you think, Chubby? Is that going to be a Kickstarter? That'd be awesome. I'm in.
Yeah, I've got a lot of a lot of Dark Sun stuff, and it's a system that I really haven't run since it first came out. I've always wanted to. I don't know if you even saw. I got Hang on, let me grab them.
I don't know if I'm doing a Kickstarter yet. Doing a Kickstarter is a lot of brain pain. I mean, I think most of the brain pain is, designing and writing and layout.
These books, these are all custom player designed. That took every second edition option for Dark Sun.
Nice.
And they put them into these, and I had them printed through Lulu. And this is only a few of them. There's like 8 books that I had printed. There's books.
Awesome.
They literally took like every Dragon magazine article and Dungeon.
Oh, really?
And put them into hardcover books, and they're pretty awesome. And I've got several of the box sets and lots of adventures and supplements, and I would love to run it. So, to actually have, I don't know, the daunting part is you got, you run your multiple characters in Dark Sun, and they have to manage the characters, and psionic rules can be a little convoluted in 2E, and so to play it in a system like ShadowDark would be appealing to me.
Yeah. No, and I think, and I said it before, I think Greg did a fantastic job with it. You could tell, like, when he writes stuff, like he's making, and he kind of said this too when we were talking to him, he's only writing the stuff that he wants to see and use at the table.
Yeah.
So, you know what I mean? And it's not like, oh, I'm just going to write this because people want it or whatever. Like he's talked about that. And that's fantastic. The best way.
For me, that was one of the bigger appeals for Shadowrim. Just like Edgelord and Decado, I'm a huge fan of Skyrim, a huge fan. And it's been almost 15 years. I'm like, why is there not an official RPG for this? I mean, there's one for Fallout. Why would you not do one for one of the best-selling video games of all time? They re-released Skyrim as a new edition, and it sells out. Millions of copies. Yeah. This is a market that is waiting to be exploited, and no one's doing it. So when Chubby did this book and I heard about it, I was like, really? So I started, I backed it. I got the copy and I opened it up and I was like, this is a cat that knows Skyrim. That this isn't like, ShadowDark with Skyrim slapped on top of it. This feels like I'm in the Elder Scrolls universe. Man, it's so freaking good. I love it. Absolutely do. Good job, dude.
Yeah. No, I can't wait, to run it. And like, that's like on my list, right? Like I made a list of all the games I want to run. And I think like 4 of them are ShadowDark. And 2 of them are Greg's, the Shadow Sun and Shadowrim, are on my list to run. And
that's another reason that I'm happy that we're going to ShadowDark. You and I, we told a story before about when we're walking around PAX and everybody's got something that looks really cool. 5e, you got that big 5e circle up in the top corner, and I walk away. And the big one was the French Revolution, and it was because I love that setting, and I'm like, man, this is badass. And then I saw that 5e, and I was like, sorry, bro, I'm not interested. And I turned around and walked away from it. If it had said ShadowDark compatible, I'd have been like, tell me more. What you got here?
Yeah.
So ShadowDark, and this goes back to it being a fad, and one of the reasons I don't believe it's a fad. Fad games have a bunch of stuff that's for them, but so much of it is just slop. It's just trash. ShadowDark attracts people that are deeply interested in the settings they're writing for. And so they write something that is of high quality, and it doesn't just say ShadowDark on the top of it. It's using the ShadowDark, spine and adding more meat and bones to it. And I'm like, oh man, this is great. I haven't talked about Blacklight this episode, so now I'm going to. I was reading through Blacklight again 2 nights ago, and I'm like, and we're playing it this Sunday. Man, I can't wait to play this freaking game. Yeah, this is my 5th week in a row plugging Blacklight, and he's going to be with us here next week. I can't wait.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Yeah, that'll be fun.
Awesome. And Troy, I just went to your website. I'm going to be ordering stuff. So.
It's all free on the website.
It's all free.
It shouldn't be.
Can't order it yet.
That makes it easy for me to order then.
We can't order something. He's going to work on that.
I will say that Troy will have products at Central New York.
Yeah,
Excellent.
nice.
Excellent.
You know, and whether or not I know after helping Roger do some setup for it, I know space is at a very much at a premium when it comes to vendor stuff. But I told Troy he's definitely got part of my table if he wants to put stuff out. Even
Awesome.
Yeah, we got it. We got
so
it.
one way or another, he'll have his stuff there.
All right. Just a couple things. Go ahead.
No, well, I wanted to ask you. You mentioned that you were diving. You were a diver? Were you a Navy diver, or you were like you're PADI certified? You like to dive?
Yeah, open water, advanced open water, and I was halfway through rescue and cave diving whenever I left Hawaii.
I did cave diving when I was in Mexico. I've dove in Hawaii, which is awesome. Where do you live now?
Right now, I'm in Central PA, down close to the Maryland border.
The same boat that I'm in. I'm in Central New York. It is hundreds of miles to any kind of water worth diving in, and I cannot find anyone to dive with me. My dive gear is sitting in my garage, just rotting. Breaks my friggin' heart.
Yeah, well, you have lakes everywhere.
Yeah,
I know
man,
it's not the same,
but really, it's not that. It's like the lakes here are they're reservoirs. They're like 30 feet deep.
Go to Skinny Atlas. That's a deep lake.
Yeah,
Skinny Atlas is very deep.
Is it safe to swim in now? Did they clean it up?
So no, you're thinking of on.
No. Skinny Atlas Lake as well had a no swimming sign for a while.
No.
Because of the algae bloom, not because of the toxins that Acme put into the water.
Yeah, Skinny Atlas is safe. That's our water supply.
Okay.
Skinny Atlas is safe and it's very deep.
All right.
I just want to touch on this here. The Greg's son there read the entire Black Label book, wildly obsessed with it. He said he normally doesn't read entire books on his own often. Yeah, and the ShadowDark books, just and Troy, we kind of touched on this earlier, but like just the way that that Kelsey sets it up so that you have just the information that you need, and it's there and it's accessible and it's a good layout. I think it makes the book that much easier to read, and that people that are making stuff for it, like Troy and Greg, and that that follow that kind of system and that kind of way, it makes it so easy to read and get through. And it's all kind of right there, and I don't even know how to explain it, but you start reading it and it's like, oh yeah, this is great, it's understandable. Like never once there's like a couple times where it's like, okay, see this page over here for more details. But like, so you flip back or whatever, and you look at that, and then you can keep going. But there's a lot of systems out there that you start, like you can't read cover to cover. You start reading it, and you get 4 pages in, and they start talking about stuff that you need to like look up, and then you got to like go find that page. And before you know it, like you're not reading cover to cover. You're just kind of back and forth. And with ShadowDark, there's only so much of that, and I think it makes it a lot easier to go through.
This is one thing I wanted to say, right? That kind of the word you're looking for is low barrier to entry.
Yeah, there you go.
Right, and that's part of the charm, part of the attraction, right? Like I said, you can be up and running quick. It's not hard to understand. It's an easy read. It's fairly easy to implement. And for the whole fad question earlier, right? I don't think it's going to be a fad either because of the moves that Kelsey is making, right? She promotes like a grassroots type system in reaching out to, it doesn't matter what size a gaming store it is, right? She wants gaming stores to pick up her product, to have league play. And at GaryCon in March, right, they're going to be launching their league play there as an example. And they're pushing that as kind of like a grassroots system for everywhere to adopt that in that league play. So that's something that we'll all be able to look forward to here after GaryCon that, that I know that they're working on. So
cool. Yeah. And Greg says the same thing here. Forces him to write as concisely as possible and to be elegant, so that it aligns with standards Kelsey set for us. Yeah.
It's
Troy
tough.
was saying the exact same thing earlier before you joined us there, Greg. Yeah.
There's one part about ShadowDark that, to me, I find is one of the best parts of the system that we haven't even touched on. And after playing a whole lot of systems, I absolutely love the way magic works in this. I had these old school groups, so I had guys that were like, stop crying. You got one spell, and when that's gone, you just sit back and you watch the door and you cover our back. And yeah, but that's boring. You tell that, especially a new guy that comes in and he wants to play, he's watched Lord of the Rings. I want to play Gandalf. I'm a wizard. Oh, I got one spell. I got a sleep spell, or I got a magic missile, and then I got to sit and do nothing for the rest of the day while we crawl through the dungeon and the fighters swing every attack and whatever.
Well, hey, don't be knocking on having one spell and it's the sleep spell.
No, I understand.
Right? That's, as a GM, that's ruined my day.
Okay? I agree with you, and I understand, but the older I've gotten, the more I realize it's not always fun for most players. You get some players that are just that old school mentality. They're fine with it. They're cool, and they're like, oh, I had one guy at my table that was always, he'd play like the wizard, and even he didn't cast his spell unless he absolutely had to. The rest of the time he'd be like, well, I'm posted on the door watching this hall, and I'm doing this, or I'm, but most people don't want to do that. I like the fact the way the spells work. You get 3 spells to start. You can cast all of them. If you succeed on them, you can keep casting them. If you fail, you can't. If you critical, something great happens. If you fumble, something bad happens.
Something great happens.
Yeah. Something great happens for the DM.
Happens, yeah.
But I like that. I mean, you got to have players. If sometimes you get a player at your table that just has that night. Everything's hot. All their dice rolls are hot. Now, just picture that wizard at second level with 4 spells that's just boom, 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 throwing spells left and right through the dungeon all night long. He's having a good time.
Yeah.
There's nothing like that in other games. I mean, I guess you can compare it to like DCC a little bit.
Yes and no.
Yes and no.
Because that's just a pass fail for ShadowDark, whereas with DCC, it's hey, I want to cast Fireball. It's like, oh, okay, cool. You cast it and you get some spurts of flame. It's like, you cast it and
just dropped a nuclear bomb on Hiroshima.
Yeah, right. Yes. Yeah. Greg, thanks for thanks for coming. It's good to have you in the chat and on. We definitely got to get you on again at some point and talk about something. So take care.
Thanks for stopping by.
I had the experience of my playing in ShadowDark. Like my character, I played like up to 8th level. He was a wizard, and then comparing him to the 15th level wizard I played in 5e, like hands down, mechanically, the ShadowDark wizard was 1,000 times more fun to play. Like I did not enjoy the mechanical part of the 5e wizard at all.
Well, the problem with the 5e wizard, it was probably fireball, 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 fireball. Oh, now
because my issue with 5e magic is it is poorly designed, because you get up to 15th level, there is zero reason almost to ever cast a first level spell. Why would I cast a first level magic missile? What is that going to do? Nothing. Right. So I need to cast it at like 5th level, because then it's going to send out multiple missiles and I'm going to get all sorts of extra. Whereas in like old school D&D, those spells morphed as you leveled. Like, the higher level you were, the more missiles you got or whatever, the more D6s or whatever it is for fireball. It was a much better design. The 5th edition design is horrible for Magic. But I played I played an 8th level wizard in ShadowDark with 18 hit points and had a blast. Like he was great to play, and you could throw down spells. You weren't you could run out of spells because you could just have a bad day. And I never had that. I lost a few spells here and there. The law of averages, but the system was really good, and like Mike said, it's a really strong point. Like I've seen guys like DM Bloodworth kind of uses that system even in his Castles and Crusades game. He was using ShadowDark magic, and we dabbled with it very briefly in some OSE that we were playing. We only played like a couple sessions, so we didn't really get to really play with it much. But we were messing around with it just because it was, like you're saying, like it. I don't want to sit there and just guard the door for a whole session because I fired off my one spell I had. Like, I think ShadowDark does magic very well, actually.
And I was one of those guys that always said Vancian magic is the way to go. That's it. Nothing else is good. Until I read ShadowDark, and now I'm like, what the hell was I thinking all this time? That is so great. It's just fun. And for me, I mean, some people, I've seen this, especially with the 5e crowd, they want charts to tell them everything. So you have a chart like, oh, your priest fails it, and there might be a chart there on, the penance they did. And they're just going to be like, okay, you got to pay this much and you got your spell casting back. I love turning that stuff into adventures. That's a whole quest. Like, you've lost the ability to cast this spell. You've displeased your god and you got to go on this quest. And the whole party's going to follow you because you're the healer. So it can turn into entire adventures over that kind of stuff.
Yeah, it's cool. This guy here, I want to touch on 2 points that Dan said. First is that he says Dice Christ was not with him that day, which I think is just absolutely amazing. It's an amazing way to put it. And if I remember, I'm going to use that one on Jason when he starts rolling bad. That the Dice Christ
Sunday
wasn't with him. So Sunday, Sunday. But the level 5 wizard failed every single casting check. How do you guys feel? There's been talk going around that a lot of people are using this kind of homebrew rule where you have to cast like you let Mike's like no.
I already know what you're going to say.
Go by the rules. I know where they have to cast the spell at least once before they lose it. So if you try and cast magic missile, you roll. You don't lose it if it's not the first time you cast it that day.
It takes everything out. It takes everything out of it. Now it's like a guaranteed cast. So now, if you've got 3 spells in your book, you're automatically casting all 3, and then you have chances to cast more. You know what I mean? But so even if you fail it on the first. So what do they don't roll the first time and then roll afterwards?
No. You roll it.
No, it counts against you.
You roll it the first time, and if you fail, the spell doesn't go off, but you don't lose it.
Okay. Well, no.
Yeah, no. We do that.
What
we do
Troy,
it.
What are your thoughts on that, Troy? You Mike on this, or
somebody else gonna say? Or?
No, go ahead.
Oh. At a tournament, I would use that rule. At my home table, tough luck.
Yep.
Okay.
My thought on it is I think it changes. You have a balance of what the characters can do, and you're really offsetting that wizard by giving them or priest by giving them that ability to automatically, to retain those spells.
It's only so to make sure that they cast it once.
I understand that, but so that's like if they roll and fail, they don't lose it. So they get to roll, and they fail again. They still don't lose it. They get to roll again next round. They still don't lose it. They don't lose it until it goes off at least once.
Yeah.
I don't know if I like that. And the fact that you take that first level guy, which in any other edition is going to have 1 spell, you're giving them 3 from the get-go. Chances are out of those 3 rolls, at least one of them is going off.
Plus, if you roll the thing on the chart on level 1, you get to cast one of those spells with advantage.
Yeah.
No, I hear you, and I'm going to run it rules as written.
Yeah.
See how it goes, and then go from there.
We haven't had an issue with it. Like we've still had like the wizard in the last game. He lost all of his spells. He was down to fighting with a staff and retreating with 1 hit point.
Yeah.
And actually was the only party member that survived. And I played when I played my wizard, I lost spells. Even with that rule, I still lost spells. So
Yeah.
But conversely, like Troy said, at a convention, it was a convention game, and it was DCC, which has a similar rule. I played with a kid that like he never got a spell off the entire game. Like he failed everyone in that session. Like he pretty much by the end of it, he was playing a priest, and he said that he threw his holy item away and was going to become a fighter or something, just because he never got a spell off the entire session. So I haven't really seen it overpower anything. And I've seen some people, like I watch the Glass Cannon guys because they're using ShadowDark, and their rule is it's only first level spells, which I kind of like that too.
Okay,
that's not bad.
Right, but you have like, so in ShadowDark, you don't have cure light wounds, cure moderate wounds, cure serious wounds, cure critical wounds. You just have cure light wounds or whatever it's called, first
cure
level
wounds
spell,
or whatever it is, and
it scales with you. So if you say that only first level spells are affected by that, you've just affected every level of healing.
No, you haven't.
It's only a first
because you'd still
spell.
lose. It's a first level spell. You'd still lose it. It just does more healing because you're a fifth level
but
priest. You're not. It's not a fifth. It's not a third level spell. It's a first level spell that you just amped up. It actually works like old magic used to work in D&D, where I'm a fifth level wizard and I cast magic missile and I get, instead of 1 missile, I get 3. It's still a first level spell. It's not. It doesn't change the level of the spell. I'm not like I said, if you play it rules as written, that's fine too. We just did it because it just seemed to work, and I haven't noticed the downside to it. Guys are still getting boned on spell. They're still losing spells. I lost spells as a player, and then I've seen, in my game, players, they still lose spells. So
I shouldn't say, matter of fact, that this is the way I'm going to play it, because I haven't run the game yet. We'll see how it plays out at the table.
Like I said, I'm gonna use it, the rules as written and see where it goes.
Right.
And then after the 6 sessions, we're gonna sit down and talk about it.
I'm flexible enough that if the players go, hey, this isn't fun, we keep our rolls suck, we lose our spells all the time, then
like Dan says he's using roll to retain instead of roll to cast. I mean, I don't like that idea.
Which is
basically and I think it's fine too.
And then roll after you cast it to see if you keep it or not.
No, that's too much rolling. I think it's fine too, like what you guys are saying, is because I'm a big proponent of playing something before I start monkeying around with it, and just playing it as written is fine too, and then like you said, like you run 5-6 sessions, you guys decide, hey, we want to keep going with ShadowDark. What do you think about this rule? Should we change it? And if the group is like, yeah, that sucks because I'm losing all my spells, or no, it's been fine.
Yeah,
keep running it the way it is.
Dan,
even the GCP guys did that. Like watching them, they changed it. Like it was all levels of spells, and then a couple sessions, obviously they're still first level, but they had already gone back and said, nope, it's just going to be first level spells that works for. So
I think, Dan, that this would be a good opportunity to have that cleric, like rebuke his god, or the wizard that's like, screw it, I'm gonna be something else. I don't know. And then Edgelord mentions luck tokens, and Dan says he doesn't even use luck tokens, which I don't know. I think that's crazy. I like luck tokens.
I like luck tokens.
Can be pretty unforgiving. So like giving them a little bit of like, hey, here's an extra, and it doesn't slow the game down. It doesn't take long to roll a d20.
When we play Deadlands using Savage Worlds, my players absolutely loved I forgot what they're called, but same thing, luck tokens basically. And in that game, every player starts with so many of them from the get-go, and then they can earn them for other reasons. But I encouraged them to use them. I'm not giving you more if you don't spend them. You're not going to hoard them all for the final boss. So if you
well, I think ShadowDark settles that by saying, hey, there's a whole bunch of ways you can earn them by doing cool things.
But
and all
you
that,
can't
but
have more
only
than
have
one. Right.
But you only have one. So now it kind of encourages, hey, I want to spend this so I can do a cool thing and hopefully get one back.
So with a table of 4, you can still have 4 of them out there because each player can have one. But that's what's great about it is even if you've spent yours and you're the caster and you just cast a spell and it failed, you cast Fireball that's going to save the party. Somebody can give you their luck token.
Yeah.
Yep.
You know,
to not lose it or whatever, or to get a reroll, right? Yeah.
I like that mechanic. I do.
Yeah.
Yeah, I do too.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, that's interesting. Yeah, rules is written as one only. Yeah. That's yeah, it's interesting. I kind of like that because I used to give out luck tokens more. I mean, in other games and stuff, really. Not recently. And then my players mentioned it like a few weeks ago about that I stopped doing that or whatever. So then I just was like, yeah, okay, here, have some tokens. But I think it'll be interesting to try it with with going by the rules where you can only have one and then redo them and stuff. So that's I think the players need it, right? Because there's enough kind of hardship going on there.
Yeah, it's just a little extra.
And if I remember correctly, they cannot spend a luck token to force a reroll. Like they can't force the DM to reroll. They can only affect their own rolls.
Right. So, or another player's, right? You can give it or
you can give it to somebody.
Right. You can give it to somebody else, but you can't force the DM to reroll.
Yeah.
Which I like that too. Some systems allow them to affect the DM's rolls. Like if I critical, they could use a luck token to erase that critical or make me
I don't mind that so much. I mean, but whatever, I guess. Yeah, fleeting luck in DCC, Lankmar. That's interesting. That's interesting. I don't know if you guys know this, but what happens is you get luck tokens for doing things, and then every time you roll a 20, you get a luck token. But if somebody rolls a 1, everybody
all go
loses
away.
all the luck tokens. So that's kind of their mechanism. That's kind of their mechanism to like, don't hoard them, just spend them because because we're gonna get to Jason's turn, and he's gonna try and do anything. No offense, but I mean,
I will roll 3 1s in a row.
So
we lost a bunch of luck token in Zephyr's game, fleeting luck, because of that. We just roll 1s and all the fleeting luck would go away.
Yeah. So yeah, that's kind of neat. But yeah, we'll find out. We'll find out this weekend. And Mike, you're starting yours in 2 weeks.
I think so. Yeah.
Cool. So. Again, you're welcome to come out. This weekend for ours. Troy, you're welcome to come up too. I know you're probably you're what 5 hours away or something, 4 or 5 hours away.
About 4.5.
So if you want to come up Sunday and game with us, you're more than welcome to.
Not too bad. Yeah, make a day of it.
Just sleep on Roger's couch.
Just a short trip, But
I'll tell you, well, with everything, with after the convention and stuff and talking, it's like I'm busier than a one-legged man in a butt kicking contest right now. Like I gotta. I have my full-time job and then this, and I put more hours into this than my full-time job even. And the only demand is my dog. So, yeah, I that's one thing I need to clear off my plate some, so then I can afford to play more. Right? Enjoy. Remind myself, why am I doing this?
Yeah. Right.
But I do.
Death Angels in Tennessee, so it's a little further.
It's the reaction that you see from the players, like the joy that they're having fun. That's what gives me oxygen. Like, and I got to see that. I ran 5 different games and I saw it every single game, or even just like watching others play the game and smiling and having fun. Like that fuels me, right? Like that recharges my batteries and it's like, okay, this is why I'm doing this.
Yeah. I know that feeling exactly, and yeah, I think Jason told the story last week, but like the first day of the convention last year, that Saturday was like just after 10 o'clock, I think, right after the first game, started, and I was standing at the doorway looking around, and Jason comes up and just looking around, and like everybody is just vendors are doing business, everybody's smiling, laughing, having a great time. And I said something like, holy fuck, I did this. Like I did that. Like this is, and it's like
It
it
went
was
really
awesome.
well. It did. It was
And
great.
yeah, and I decided at that moment, like I don't care what, if I can afford to do this every year, like, and it costs me money, like I'm gonna try and do it anyway, because it just was that great, and luckily it didn't come to that, but um, but yeah, it's just fantastic looking around and just seeing everybody and I imagine same thing when it's your product, right? You're looking and everybody's having a great time, playing it, and in that world, and you could just say, wow, I did this, this is all you, and it's fantastic.
Yeah.
So yeah, love it. Yeah, Edgelord, give him a ride from Tonawanda. There you go.
Another thing I want to say about your convention, Central New York, is
yeah, absolutely.
I know Central New York, it's a long way from a lot of people. A lot of conventions are out in the Midwest and whatever else. The nice thing is we don't have a lot here, so you have a broad market that we can pull from. If you're ever thinking about doing a convention or checking something out, it's a great one to start with. It really is. It's such a good time, and the venue is great. The hotel was just awesome. I booked a room this year. I'm only an hour away, but I booked a room for 2 nights because I'm going to stay there. Last year, we weren't sure how it was going to go. I mean, Roger will tell you, I told him from the get-go, I'm like, 200 people convention, I'm not going to make any money, but I'll come anyways to help you out. And I didn't think I was going to. And Saturday or Sunday happened to be Father's Day, so I was like, well, I'm coming Saturday, but I don't think I'll be here Sunday. Saturday went really well. My daughter and I were there. We decided to leave at 6. Gaming went till what, 11 or something?
Yeah,
10, 11.
Yeah, I think it was 10, but people were going late. Yeah.
Yeah. So we left and came back on Sunday, and it was a great time. This year I booked a hotel for 2 nights, and I'll be there from start to finish. I'll be there Friday, Saturday, and all day Sunday. It's the venue's awesome. The rooms were, compared to like when I went to Page, the rooms, the hotel's great because it's right near the convention center, but it's not exactly cheap. I think one night at Page was equivalent to the 2 nights at this hotel. I think I paid $230 for 2 nights. It's a freaking king. It's got a king bed and a sofa bed in it. So my wife, my kids, whoever wants to come, there's room for everybody to stay. It's, and then the hotel staff was great, opening up the restaurant early, going around, taking orders, bringing food to people's tables. It's just very accommodating.
And the food was good, and
it was
pretty well priced.
Yeah,
yep.
It was
good.
Listen, I'm a big guy. I ordered chicken riggies, and they took away a plate with food on it because I couldn't eat it all. It wasn't like
Yeah,
it was pretty big.
No, it was awesome. It was awesome. Everything worked out great, and on that, talking about that, like, people keep saying like, it's going to explode. CNY is going to explode. It's going to be huge. It's the North. People are calling it the Northeast, North Texas. And they raised their cap from 500 to 600, and they sold out like last week, I believe. But like, I don't know, like, as awesome as that hotel was, I don't know if I may cap at 400.
400, I think, is about the most.
And I think, like, technically this year we're capped at, I think the badges are capped at 350. I think I've only got it set up so that there's 300 normal badges and then 50 VIP badges. So, but I mean, I don't think we're going to hit that. I don't think we're going to. I think we'll hit 300 this year.
You didn't think you'd hit 200 last year.
Yeah,
that's
true.
It's
true.
It's true. It's going to be hard to judge. Wait and see. I mean, badge sales. I remember leading up to it, like even a week or two before, badge sales were still like concerning. I'm like, oh, how's this going to turn out? And then
it was just it exploded.
And I think if I don't know, reach out to the local news stations and whatnot. They came there and did an interview, but reach out to them ahead of time to really promote it on the local news beforehand to get those walk-ins.
Yeah.
The people that are just like, hey, I played D&D when I was a kid, or I still play D&D, but I didn't know we had a convention here.
Sure.
If they don't go to game stores and whatnot, they're not going to know.
Yeah.
But if you get it on the news, I mean, we're talking the local news in Utica. It's like local news in Syracuse. You reach out to them and tell them I'm doing this, they'll be like, "Oh yeah, we'll come interview you. We'll talk about
news.
it."
Yeah, something to report on.
Right.
Yeah. Yeah.
They'll send a little 16-year-old kid to do the interviews again.
Oh my God, that guy! I think that was his first interview.
Yeah, he looked like a kid straight out of high school, but hey, you did a good job.
No, he did fine. It was fantastic. But I think like he was asking questions. Like, oh, so what are you guys doing here? What's this all about? And like, he started asking them, and I'm like, the way he's asking them, I'm like, oh, he's not asking like the leading questions.
He has no idea what we're doing.
He really has no idea. Yeah. I got to I'm packaging some stuff up today, Edgelord, and I'm going to mail a stack out to you. To hand out and post out there.
If we're still gonna meet up this week, get me some if you have them.
Yeah, I'll message you and I'll let you know when I'm gonna be out there. Okay. Yeah, definitely. So yeah, cool. So we're just over 3 hours. What is there anything else ShadowDark that's like a must talk about thing? Anybody got anything?
I think I hit all the topics I was looking at.
Troy, you got anything you want to plug or talk about, or
just the Western Reaches, Kickstarter that'll be wrapping up. Supposedly the physical products should be mailed out in end of March is what they're shooting for. And then Kelsey will be taking a break. So, don't know what's next. That'll all be exciting news. Maybe they'll make an announcement up at GaryCon, but that'll be her last convention. And then she's taking a break for family and stuff. So
yeah.
That's the latest for that. Be on the lookout for, new good stuff. Spread the word as we see it. The cream will rise to the top and the dredge will sink to the bottom.
Yeah.
Joey asked how long the drive from New York City.
5 hours.
About 5 hours.
Well, yeah. It's once you get off of the island, it's probably a little over 4 hours, 4.5 hours.
Do you guys have a train station right in Utica?
We do. We do have a train station in Utica.
Yeah.
And if you want to take the Amtrak right to Utica and message us and let us know, I mean, I'm sure that we can get somebody to pick you up and bring you into the hotel. I'm sure we can get, because everybody in this industry and all the players and everything, everybody's fantastic. And I wouldn't want to have somebody have to, rent a car or take a cab or something. You know what I mean?
I'll do it. I'll be there in Utica for the con. I have no problem picking people up.
Yeah.
If you wanted to check prices too, if Syracuse is any cheaper than Utica, I can pick you up there. It's only 10 minutes away, 15 minutes away from my house. So,
yeah.
Or I can pick you up.
Or Troy can pick you up.
Yeah, see? There you go.
You got options, Joey.
Yeah, we'd love to have you.
There you go. train into Pennsylvania, and Troy will pick you up on the way.
There's one other thing that we didn't mention was Michael Putlick has a Kickstarter that's about to close late pledges, I believe.
Oh, really?
It's got three monster manuals. Basically, isn't that what it is, Troy? It's three. I backed it. I backed the full. It's about $150 for all three.
Are you talking about the Roll for Combat?
Yeah.
Books that he did the conversions for roll for combat.
Oh, okay, so that's not his. He did the conversions.
Correct.
Okay, but either way, they've got 3 monster manuals for ShadowDark, and I think it's like a regular one, elementals. One is regular stuff, one's elementals, and one is I forgot.
Yeah,
I don't even know. I backed it because I'm a sucker for monster manuals. So
what's the name of it?
I'll look it up. I got it.
Okay.
Yeah,
it's roll for combat, which is Stephen Glicker and Mark.
Yeah. Well, if we can get a. Oh, here it is. Okay. I just typed in Roll for Combat Kickstarter. Hundreds of new monsters for ShadowDark.
Yep.
Late pledges. Monster Hunt, Strange and Unusual, Elemental Storm.
Yep.
Yeah. Okay, cool. That's kind of cool. So, that's neat. Let me post that in the thing. Yeah, there you go. This should be the link there. Yeah, fantastic. That's cool. That is cool. Yeah. So
they also have a ShadowDark dungeon design contest going on as well.
Oh, cool.
Oh, and sorry, one more thing. There is a Baron DeRop. He's from Dungeon Masterpiece.
Yep.
He is doing an 8-bit game jam.
Oh yeah.
Contest.
Yes.
I was going to do it. It started. I was going to sign. I did sign up for it. I got my 3 games. I decided not to do it because I decided for my first attempt at writing a published adventure of any type, I didn't want to be constrained by the 2-week time limit and going with you have to fit within the confines of their 3 games. I figured I'd rather take my time with it and do something that I was really passionate about than try and do that.
Sure.
It's one of those things. The first impressions matter. I don't want to write something that I have to rush through it, try and get it out to fit within it, and it comes out total shit. And people are like, "Yeah, I've seen his writing before. It sucked." So I'd at least like to spend some time and do something I really want. It'll take a while, but
Yeah. No, okay. I hear you. Trying to do something like that is hard. I mean, it kind of like works the brain or whatever out, but
and it's like I told Troy, if you've got a whole library of published stuff and writing is normal to you, you do it all the time, that's probably easy. The 3 games that I got were what was it? What's it called? The Fall of Olympus, which was a great title.
Okay.
Mega Man 5, which I could work with that. And McKids, the McDonald's one.
Oh my God.
So you only had to use them for inspiration. They don't have to follow any of it. They just need to inspire you. The cool thing about the McKids one, when I looked it up, because I'd never seen it before, I've built emulators and all this stuff with all these games. The McKids one is literally, it looks like a clone of Super Mario 3 with the layout with the map and you pick where you're going. And then it looked like Super Mario 2 in the way that you move through the map. And the whole thing was about Ronald McDonald's in Ronald's clubhouse, and he sends you on quests. And I'm like, well, yeah, you could work with that.
Yeah.
But it was, when I saw that, I'm like, McKids, really? What am I going to do with that? But it wouldn't be so bad. But like I said, I would just rather wait and do something that I'm more passionate about. Some
Yeah.
I've got some story ideas that I've been working on for adventures that I was going to run with 2E and stuff that I'll just start working on that. I don't know. Do you guys have an airport closer than Syracuse?
No, Albany, there's 1 hour and a half, but that's
Syracuse would be closest.
Yeah.
Hancock International.
Yeah, I'll post this in there. So this is the Baron Darab thing. So basically, you just make a module or an adventure based on like 3 random 8-bit games.
You get assigned them. You sign up to itch.io. Then once you sign up, and it randomly will assign you 3 games, and then you use that as inspiration, following the rules to make an adventure.
Just keep in mind, it's been going on for a couple of days now, 2 or 3 days. And you only have 14 days to complete the whole thing.
Yeah.
So you're already short a few days. If you can get now.
Yeah, and I don't know. Yeah, that's too late, I think, for me to get involved in. But
if Death Angel's right and Baron Darab lives around here, he might be a good person to try and reach out to about your convention.
Well, when he says around here, he's
talking in Tennessee.
Tennessee.
Yeah.
Okay.
Where he is. Yeah. But yeah, I've I don't know. I had somebody that was talking to him that asked him about it, and he couldn't do it for some reasons. I don't know. Just the timing of it and things like that. So I don't know, but we'll see. But yeah, I mean that'd be cool if he would come up, but who knows? We'll see.
We're still waiting for Ed Greenwood.
I'm working on it. I'm working on that. I am.
Have you contacted Errol Otis yet?
So no, I have not. I know you're supposed to bug me. I have.
You wrote it down last week.
I know that. I have somebody that's working on that.
So who do you have so far this year? Same as last year?
Same as last year. We added Brian Shutter. Hopefully he can make it. He does the Neon Lords of the Infinite
Toxic
Waste or whatever. Toxic Waste, yeah. He's a great guy. We played one of his games. He's awesome. He lives like an hour north of here. So that's cool. But he's supposed to come up so long as his work does not get in the way, which, hopefully it doesn't, right?
I wanted to talk to you about, remember the artist that we saw in Ithaca, Charles Urbach?
Yes.
He's from Auburn, went to high school with me. I don't know if you want to reach out, because he did mention that he loves coming back because he's got family here. So
he's a maybe.
Reason
he's got to see.
Oh, have you talked to him?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah. So talked to him in Ithaca, and I talked to him again at.
Okay. Good.
I saw him there. Yeah.
Yeah. I spoke to him at Page, and I brought it up again. So, yeah.
Yeah. No, he's we got to see. He's got to see if the timing's right and everything else.
Right.
So, but yeah, we'll see. We'll see what happens. So other than that, though, what do we think? Is that all that we got to cover with ShadowDark? Probably, right?
It is for me. I'm starting to hit shutdown, but I can see my eyes are starting to glaze over, and I'm like, I
hear it. Yeah,
I'm gonna go to bed.
So cool. Yeah. So we'll post when Troy's got his stuff, and when his store's up, and when
one last thing to show you guys. This is some more
absolutely.
Amazing art from Joey Dosel, where it's good versus
that's great.
Good versus evil.
Badass.
Nice.
You got the good guys.
That's awesome.
Yeah. That's good
Is
stuff.
that the print that you guys were selling?
Yeah, these all sold out. These ones and the other ones with the
I'm gonna have to get one of those
aquatic
from you.
theme.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to get those from you at some point. I would imagine you're gonna have more.
We have I have this in color too. Chris Schaefer did a color version of this.
Nice.
As well. Sorry. Forgot to show that earlier.
No, that's cool. That's cool stuff. I love all the black and white art and stuff. It's really cool stuff. So, yeah. So, I guess that's that. So yeah. So we'll post Troy stuff when everything goes live, and when there's a store that comes up or we can get his stuff. Otherwise, CNY, you get his stuff there. Mike at Thunderstruck Gaming, I posted the link earlier to his thing. I believe I'm going to post I'll post your Facebook. That's probably the easiest way to get a hold of you, right?
Either, yeah.
Your Facebook.
That's
probably got
easier.
links there to all his stuff. And yeah, so next week we're talking to Victor that did Blacklight. So that'll be exciting to do that. He's going to come on, and we'll go from there. We still got to do an alignment episode at some point. We got some people that want to get in on, so but yeah. So I think that's it. That covers some of ShadowDark. We'll talk about it a little bit more next week, I'm sure, with Victor talking about his stuff. But thanks everybody for coming. Troy and Mike, thanks for joining us. We'd love to have you guys back.
Thanks for having me.
All of that. And we'll see you guys on the flip side. And hopefully we'll see you guys next week. Same time. Same channel, all that fun stuff. So you guys take care. See ya.